It's fucking time. All right. Before I start, just want to say if you guys have any questions midway through, feel free to just stop me. Just let me know, because I might miss some things. I spent quite a bit of time writing things down, making sure I got through most things, but you know, very likely I'll probably miss something. So if there's something you don't understand, just feel free to let me know. It's very likely that I just missed it. Just so you guys are aware, I'm just gonna start off with the basics. So I'll start with like how the A bomb slams, like everything about cleansing the taints, how you get the stacks, all of that. Then I'll go over the different types of ways of doing the fight. Okay. And then like later on, I got a couple clips to show you guys. Um, so the first thing is gonna be just like generally, what's your job as the off tech in this fight? When the fight starts, typically before you get your A bombs, there's gonna be some archer spawns. You're responsible for chaining those in and making sure they're dead. Um, Sometimes those archers are gonna spawn after the A bombs, and they get very annoying for the DPS because it's they just have to roll dodge them, so that's something you guys have to take care of. The other thing is the A bombs, making sure they're close to the boss. I see a lot of tanks these days. They start pringling, and it's become very popular, but they kind of break away from the basics of the fight, which is keeping the A bombs on top of the boss. A lot of them just worry about canceling the tates. So, what I'm gonna show you guys today is the at least the way that I like to do it. There's a lot of ways. So, typically these days, the strat that we're using. Oh, someone has background noise. Okay.
Get some free healing.
Revi, do you mind
Let's
muting?
see. Is this gonna be good?
Yeah,
No, it's
background
not.
noise. Okay, thank you. So typically these days, whenever we start the fight, this is right here. If you guys see, if you can recognize the arena, this is where the portal is, right here at the right. Let me see. Can you guys see my cursor? I think you, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, we can see.
this right here is
Mm-hmm.
the portal, and this right here was coming. Typically these days, the strategy that we're gonna be using, or that most groups use and have adapted, is this strat where you have Bahsei, you keep her right where she is, and you just turn her around and face her backwards. Okay. So um, starting off the fight, you're just gonna be right here behind, doing whatever. Whenever you're going out to chain your archers, the healers are typically. Let me grab the little fucking tank. So this is the figurine that I use for like the OT position. Um, the healers are typically right about here, so you don't really want to get farther out than this to chain your archers. From here, you can pretty much chain every single one of them and get them into group. Okay. This first position, um, is very important. So sometimes you'll have A bombs that spawn, let's say, before the portal. If that happens, you can go out and taunt them, and you can move in front of the main tank right here, but don't go too deep. If you go too deep, it's very likely you're gonna lose guard. So if you get that first A bomb spawn, you just have to be very careful of just taunting it and moving to your rune. So the positioning for the runes is basically key to this fight. And every rune is where the A bomb spawn. They all come out. There's 6 runes in the whole fight. Um, and your first initial slam is very important. Now, my preferred spot to put the slam is exactly how I have it here. Let me go ahead and duplicate and just show you guys on the other side. So what I like to do with it is I like to put my A bomb basically right on top of this rune and put my first slam in a way where it's just coming off a little bit outside. And this, I'll show you guys why this is good, but this is where my preferred slam position is. So you guys know the portal goes in 2 directions. It goes clockwise and counterclockwise. So if you go clockwise, we're gonna slam on this side. If you go counterclockwise, we slam on the right side, right? This is all basically just the whole explanation I'm gonna give you guys is just mirror it to the other side. I'm mostly gonna explain on the clock side uh side of things, just because that's where I drew all my diagrams. This position that I have for the boss right here is something that you guys are going to have to communicate with your other tank. Now, a lot of main tanks, I'm just gonna go over it slightly. Uh, this specific positioning that we've been using with a strategy, Bahsei, you want her to be, I don't know how you say this in English, but you see right here at the edge of this circle right here, That's the preferred positioning for the boss. Now, there's some main tanks that are not going to put it there for you, and that's just something you're going to have to communicate. But this strategy does not work as well if Bossy is not somewhere around the top of the slam. There was an old strategy where Bossy would be placed around here, and this just makes it very uncomfortable for your DPS to do damage. As people have done the fight more, they've realized, especially with all the builds that we have now, it just makes it so much easier for Bossy to be at the top and the A bombs to be stacked. So like the A bombs would be right here and Bossy would be right here. Uh, but yeah, this green circle that I've placed down is typically where your hots are placed. Um, so whenever you're getting out of taint or going into taint or trying to position for the next slam, this could be with. Let me move this green thing out of here. So this could be like if you're crawling and you're trying to position yourself right over here. Um, you want to make sure a lot of this is looking at the floor, seeing where your healers are placed their hots, and making sure you're not getting out of those, because these A bombs do a lot of damage, especially if you start building up tank stacks. Okay, the main tank position is slightly. It's actually very important where they stand. If like let's say you have another tank that's learning with you, or they just don't know how to do the fight too well, uh, their position to stand is basically they want to be almost touching the taint. They want to be as close to the taint as possible, right here to the center. Now, sometimes your slam is not going to be perfect. If this happens, and like let's say you put a slam right here and push the main tank out, a lot of main tanks, what they would do is they would move it like move Bahsei really fucking far away. They would start moving Bahsei towards them. Something that you have to watch out for and obviously explain to people as you do the fight with them is the preferred method that at least I like to use, and I teach other tanks that tank with me, is I like for them to keep it always at the top of the slam every single time. We don't want Bossy moving into the corner and not being, because just imagine you're a DPS, right? And the main tank, I see this like super calmly. I don't know about you guys, but like the main tank will take Bossy into the corner, um, and basically making it impossible for the DPS to do any damage at all. Like let's say you have slams like this and Bossy, I see this a lot, very commonly. You really don't want Bossy that deep in the corner. Let's say it comes to a situation where you need to crawl. Um, Bossy, the way that main tank rotates her is going to be similarly like this. I'm just moving it down and it's going to come down. Kind of at the same level as the runes, okay? That just goes to show, just in case, like you guys run into a main tank that doesn't know too well, their job is basically hand to hand with ours. So it's very important that they know where to stack the boss for our job to be good, okay?
Would it
Now,
be wrong to say that that you want them positioned like more toward like the edge that's facing toward the middle of the arena? Would
the,
that be the top one?
the edge is facing the middle of the arena. Yeah. So this, you mean this edge right here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, right there. Okay, so it's always so you always kind of want Basse over
yeah.
on the edge of the circle,
Yes.
so it's facing toward the middle. Okay, okay.
So here, like it'll always be like right here. You see where I have it now? It'll
Yep.
always be right there. Okay. So this is the basis of the strategy. Now we're gonna get a little bit into the logic of the A bombs. So as you guys know, or if you guys maybe not know, A bombs have a logic to their slam timings. So there's two logics. One of them is based off of their light attacks, and the other one is based off of their hit points. Now, if you look at the arena, I drew a line straight through the middle of the arena. This line, you can draw wherever in the room you are, it doesn't matter. You will always have three three runes on one side and three runes at the other side. Now, if you see on top of these runes, I drew close, very close, and far. So let's say this is you. This is the situation where we went clockwise. So here we went clockwise. You put your first slam right here on this red circle. The main tank has the boss in the correct position. Now, these close A bombs that spawn here and here will lat attack you 2 times before they slam. These far A bombs that spawn here, here, and here will lat attack you 1 time and then they will immediately slam right after. This is law for every single A bomb. Now, there's something that is what makes this fight very difficult for off tanks. The A bombs will also slam at 75%. No matter where they are, what they're doing, if they hit 75% health off their next DCD, they're going to immediately slam. So, your job as the off tank is going to be a lot about looking at an A bomb, recognizing in which room it is spawned in, and telling yourself, okay, let's say I'm over here with the group. I see this A bomb spawned over here. I'm like, okay, this is a far A bomb. This is gonna lat attack me 1 time, so it's gonna come close to me, lat attack me 1 time, and then it will slam. Okay. How do you know it's the close or far A bomb? Let me delete this line just to give you guys. Oh, I'm fucking bad at this. Okay, so I'm just gonna delete the line. I'm just gonna draw a new one for you guys. So basically, you want to split the room for wherever you are. So let's say we come over here to the left side, like I showed you guys. You're basically splitting the room in half, but you need one of the corners to be the room that you're at. Let's say that you went to this side over here, and the group is like, we're slamming on this side, right? Like, let me just move the things. Now, the split would be like this, okay? And now this would be a close spawn. This would be a very close spawn. This would be a close. This would be far, far, and far, okay? So you can split the room however you want. It's always, you always want to start the room or whatever the way you're doing this fight, however you're pointing that first portal, you always want to go to a rune to make it easy for you to split. Preferably one of these 4 runes, this one, this one, this one, or this one. These 2 right here are not preferred because it's more annoying, but you could just split the room across the middle, but it's just doesn't work as well. Instead of going to the corner runes, okay? Now, this very close rune right here that I haven't told you guys about is going to be the rune that you are basically slamming on top of. So, this A bomb will basically spawn on top of this rune, and this is the trickiest A bomb that you're gonna deal with, and this is the reason that we put that first slam. This goes a lot more. It matters a lot more when we're pringling, which is something I'm gonna go into later. But for now, I'm just gonna go over the crawling things. This A bomb, since let's say you slammed, like, let me duplicate this a little bit. So let's say you had your first slam there, your second slam, you had it here, and this A bomb is spawning. Let me just move the things to the correct positioning. I'm gonna move this fucking main tank out. It doesn't matter anymore. Get deleted. So let's say you had your first slam there and your second slam there, and boss is right here. This A bomb, it's very likely the DPS could push this A bomb immediately to 75%. That's something you have to be very aware of and watching. You have to watch this one's health bar like a hawk. These days, without Azure Blight, I don't know if Azure Blight will eventually come back into the meta or we will have access to better cleave sets. But these days, typically, it does not insta slam unless people are dropping their ult rate. Now, this very close one will light attack you 3 times. Okay? This is the other outlier. So you have to watch out for this one and not go into tank too early. A lot of tanks will basically, like, if whenever they're learning to pringle or crawling, they would get this guy and they would like sit in the tank to try to like mitigate where the slam is. You have to counter lat attacks. That's the main key to your success in this fight. Okay. Does anyone have any questions before I move on to how we're gonna do the slams?
You said
Do
that.
we have
I'll go for it.
My bad.
Yeah, go ahead. One of you guys can talk first.
You first. You first.
The lady can go first.
all right? Do we have to have Bahsei stepping inside the air bomb slam to be able to make it go away, the spear.
To make the
Like
what do you
because is this a correct information? I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking. Like the air bomb slam to be disappeared when it's pringled. So
Okay.
the one goes away. For it to happen, do we have to have Bahsei stepping inside of the slam?
No.
The boss.
I'll go
Okay.
into like I'll explain that later on since that's basically the most advanced way of doing the slams. But no, bossy doesn't matter at all. Wumpy or Jish, what was your question?
Go for it, Jish.
All right, thanks. So I was just on this. You said Azure changed it from 1 light attack to 3.
Mm-hmm. So
Wow.
these A bombs they slam like I said based on their health percentages. With Azure Blight, they were getting pushed immediately to 75% since they would basically spawn right on top of the boss and right on top of the other A bombs. They would immediately get pushed to 75 and slam. A lot of the time,
Yeah.
yeah.
The very close. I remember because
Uh-huh.
it would sometimes maybe 1 light attack. Now it's 3. That's crazy.
Yeah. So they were always 3, but typically before Azure Blade, they would actually do 0 light attacks and they would just slam immediately. It wasn't even 1.
Okay.
It
Damn,
was
very
very
close, those
crazy.
two to-
Yeah, the change of the Azure Blade nerf actually did quite a lot of changes for off
The
tanking.
burst. It's the burst because, like, the
Yes.
ability to get it there quickly.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay.
All right, Wumpy, what was your question?
Oh God, I forgot. Oh no, I remember. You said that some of the A bombs they have to attack, light attack twice, and then one of them just once. Is that right?
Yes. So
That,
yeah,
damn, that's okay.
do you want me to re-explain it again?
No, I'll just. I just wanted to make sure that I heard that correctly. I'll
Yeah.
look at the video again just to see which ones are the ones that are going to be doing
Yeah.
that.
So the 2 lat attackers are these right here. I'm just go over a little bit more in detail. So you see these 2 closest runes to you from where you are. This is you right here, this tank,
Yeah,
and this is
yeah.
where your group is sitting, right? The 2
Mhm.
closest runes to you, a lot of it depends on their walking distance to you. So
Okay.
you see here, they don't have to really walk a lot to you. This means that it's
So
gonna be a close one.
okay, so the closer they are, the fewer light attacks they
Yeah,
have to do, and
and
the farther they. Okay, cool.
the way that you kind of do this is you see this line that I drew right across the middle.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
separates the close and the far ones. So every single time that you get into the arena, you can draw this line mentally for yourself and immediately recognize which ones are close ones and which ones are far one to make it easy for you. So
Okay.
whenever they spawn there, you can just say, okay, this is a close and this is a far. At the beginning, it's a little bit difficult, but as you get more comfortable off tanking, this is just it comes very automatic to you.
Cool. Thank you.
But yeah. All right.
Sorry, and one more question before you move on
Uh-huh.
about basic A bomb mechanics. So is it's completely health based and you being in melee range, right? Or is it
It's
timed or
it's health and it's health based, so 75%, and it's light attack based.
okay, bet.
So and distance as well. The distance adds a little bit to it. So like let's say like you, this is not something that you should be doing as an off tank. Let's say you as the off tank come right over here. This guy is not gonna be a very close one. He will light attack you 3 times. So a lot of it like comes down to how close
he's not
you
at
are.
75. Okay, got you. Okay.
Yeah, because like even like let's say we divided the room like this, but like let's say you're over here and you're not with group where you're supposed to be, even though this guy spawned far, if you're right on him, he's gonna light attack you 3 times. It
And then
depends.
he'll slam even if he's not pushed.
Yeah, he always
Oh, okay,
slams. So like this one's like if you're standing here and you're pringling here or like you're crawling here, the ones farthest from you is 1 light attack and then a slam. The 2 medium distance is 2, and the closest one is 3 light attacks. Okay.
Which is okay, bet.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone's good before I move on because this is really the key to everything. Before I start explaining. Okay. So we're now gonna move on to basic crawling. So this is the first form of tank slamming that you're gonna learn as off tank, and which is what I recommend most people to do. So the first thing that you're gonna learn is, let's say we just start the fight, right? I've basically started the fight for you guys. We've placed our first A bomb in the correct position. Bahsei is in the correct position. Let's say you're standing right here inside a group and you have an A bomb spawning over here. Now, you have to look at the situation how it is. You have this A bomb right over here. Let me see if I can draw. Pull up. Yeah. I like this. I like this. Let me not do it right. I'm just gonna do it blue. Yeah, this is good. This is good. So let's say you have this A bomb right over here. How do you want to maneuver this A bomb? So a lot of tanks, what they need to do, you see a far A bomb spawn, immediately your first reaction is going to be come right here. Let me actually use tools, circle. It's very likely that during this situation, you're gonna have the portal right in the middle of the arena. So let me just have it there. Let me just make it purple so you guys know. So this is gonna be the portal in the middle of the arena. What, as an off tank, these 4 A bombs are gonna be in range of you for you to be able to lat attack them right here where I am. You do not need to move farther than this. If you go right here or you start going over here, you remember what I said about the hots? They're all here. So if you start making these movements, it makes it hell for you, especially if you already have an A bomb that slammed and it's following you here. You're gonna create distance between the boss and the A bomb, and it's gonna lead to double slams. Okay, so it's very key that you're not too far away from your initial slam. So after the A bomb slam one time, or whenever they do their slam, they're stunned in that animation for about 5 seconds. So immediately after they slam, they're gonna stand still and sit still and not move for about 4 to 5 seconds. I don't know the exact math on it, but that's around how it feels for me. Okay, so you want to position yourself in a way where you're not going too far to get these taunts. Okay, especially the far ones are gonna be the dangerous ones and the ones that you need to make the most distance. You just right around here is the max range that you're gonna be at. Okay, now how, let's say this A bomb spawns here. This is, how many lat attacks is this going to be? This is going to be a 1 lat attack. No, this one is a 1. Remember, because let me split the room again for you guys. So just so you guys have a clear view of how it is, right?
Yeah, isn't he far though?
Yeah, so the far ones are 1 lat attack.
Oh, okay. Fuck that.
So I remember,
They
like
don't
a
start light
combination of,
attacking
like-
until they get in melee, right?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
It's like a combination of walking distance and light attacks that
Yeah.
they both take up the A bomb's time and then they slam.
Okay.
so this A bomb spawned far, so he's going to lat attack me 1 time, and then his second GCD is going to happen. So this guy, you're gonna walk him in, you're gonna taunt him. Now, there's 2 options here. So the option that I'm gonna be teaching you guys first is going to be crawling without even stepping into taint at all. So what you want to do, if this A bomb spawns, a lot of it depends on Boss's shoulder, right? So if we're at the left shoulder, let me actually make a pretty L because I'm fucking stupid. Left shoulder or right shoulder. A lot of it depends on where the A bomb spawned. This A bomb spawned at the right shoulder, so you want to make sure whenever you're bringing it in. Let me redo this actually. I want to have this before so I can just bring it in. So this time you want to bring it in, and you're gonna bring it in through the left shoulder of Bahsei. Okay, so you're gonna bring it in through the left, and you're just gonna come right here. You as a tank stand right here, and this A bomb, let me draw it out for you guys a little bit better. This A bomb is going to come like this, and you're gonna put it right here. Their slams come out from their right hand, so you want to make sure to point that right hand a little bit more on the inside. So let me duplicate this and show you relatively where that slam is going to be. So if you did this slam is going to be in this position. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a clip that Mitch sent me just of how you see this in real time and how it's going to look for you guys. I unfortunately didn't have a clip for this because I didn't record myself. whenever I was just learning the fight. So you're gonna see here, Mitch is starting the fight. You see he's putting his first slam here. This is the old strategy that was used back in the day. Since we haven't done this type of slamming in a very long time, so I didn't manage to have a video of it. But you're gonna see he's putting that first slam there. Let me go back. This A bomb, he's gonna get out of the slam. So this motherfucker, I just need to put this in slow motion. He's gonna get out. You see where he's slamming right now? Remember what I said? Split the room in half. This A bomb is a close bomb. Because remember, we have a wound right here, right behind us. We have a wound right here. And we have a wound right here. You see? So he's slamming here. Right? And he just started. Actually, that's a far spawn because it spawned here. That's far. So that's gonna let attack him one time, and then it's going to slam. It's a little bit weird on this middle ones. You're gonna see the position that he takes. So since that one spawned at the right shoulder or Bahsei, he's gonna bring it in through the left shoulder. So you're gonna see that A bomb's gonna come in. So he baited the path that he made it walk is like this, and then he's gonna bring it in. Okay, this is key to taking up as least space as possible, because you're gonna see he's gonna slam right here through his right. You see how this slam came out where it's overlapping this one a little bit. This is your goal as a beginner if you're just starting off time like the fight, and you're not sure how much, or like you're not used to healing yourself this much, because they do a lot of damage, especially on top of the taints. So this is the strategy that I would recommend. You're gonna see he's gonna get out of this taint, and the position where you go when you get out of the taint is very important. You basically want to sit right on top of group after your A bomb slams. This is not only for receiving heals, this is to make sure the A bombs stay close to the boss. Let's say you were to, as your tank, you were to position yourself back over here where my cursor is. You would not only be out of heals, you would destack the A bomb. Let's say you would come over here, your A bomb would still be stacked, but you would be out of heals. Okay, so you want to make sure you're prioritizing yourself and where the A bombs are. Okay, next.
The A bomb's light attack doesn't have any cleave, right?
No cleave, only their slams. Nice. So you can just point them straight to the group. Next, he's gonna turn around. He's gonna taunt this next one. This one, how many lat attacks is it gonna be? It's gonna be one lat attack, and then it's going to slam. So he's gonna turn around, taunt him, and he's gonna go to his position, and he's just gonna chill here. You see how he's just at the edge of taint? This is your preferred position whenever you're crawling like this. You don't want to be farther into the arena than he is right now. Okay, we're gonna wait, not into the arena, into the lava than he is right now. You're gonna wait for this A bomb to come in. You're gonna see it's gonna lat attack him one time. They just finished the lat attack right now. He's gonna try to turn it around here. Actually, they hit him twice. I guess a walking distance wasn't enough. That's why I said these better wounds here are a little bit janky. So you're gonna see, and then it's gonna slam. If you guys realized again, the slams came out from his right hand, and you're gonna see a few seconds after this, the A bomb is gonna be stunned. Remember what I said earlier? After these A bombs slam, they don't move for a few seconds, so you're free. He's gonna go out, get his taunts, and if you see his A bomb, just finish his slam, and it is now going to move towards him. So you see, you have just enough time to get out of the slam and get your next taunt, and that's gonna be the biggest learning thing in all of this, is timing those first taunts. Bahsei very likely, because she spawns them in 5%. Doesn't matter what group you're in, if your group doesn't have a lot of damage, these A bombs spawn at relatively the same speed. Now, if you're in a faster group, there's ways to skip the A bombs, but I'm not gonna touch on that too much. Okay. Does anyone have any questions before I start moving on to something else?
I do.
Okay.
When crawling, like you said, your position is ideally right outside of taint, right? You don't want to be taking taint stacks unless you're pringling, because that's unnecessary damage. Or okay.
Yes. So there's.
But you want to aim the slam toward the other slam, so
correct.
you take up as little. Okay, bet.
Correct, because the less the boss moves, the more damage you have on the boss, and the better it is for the group and the healers. Just to go over something else, let's say that, let me go back to my paint diagram. Let me move the boss and everything out of here. let's say that as a tank, you're just starting off because like everyone's learning at the beginning, right? We're just starting off. We're learning how to do the fight. An off tank that's doing this is going to force a lot of movements into the group. So the DDs literally need to come from here, and they basically every 6-7 seconds. I would say more like 8 seconds. They would have to do this much move and replace everything. That goes alongside your healers as well. We want as the off tank, we basically rule this fight. So you can either make it harder on yourself and easier on the group, or easier on yourself and harder on the group. Doing this, there's nothing wrong with it. Obviously, doing it this way, but the way that I would recommend is what I showed you guys. You do not need to step into Taint at all. You can just stand in the corner and just make sure that A bomb is not faced like this. You don't want that A bomb facing you like that directly. You want to bring in this A bomb through here. Not like it's not. That's not realistic. It's gonna come through here, and you want to position yourself in a way it's gonna come through here. You want to position yourself so this A bomb faces the other taint. Okay, that's the key to making sure you have very tight crawls. This is without even going into taint. You could have crawls that basically look like this without even touching taint. And if you see this, like every other slam is
That's
taking up
actually really good crawl.
yeah, so you can have this type of crawling without even going into taint at all and playing it very safe for your group. Okay, now if you want to risk it a little bit more, and this is a little bit more of the strats that people are accustomed to these days, is the tighter crawl, which I'm gonna go into now. But before I go into the tighter, everyone is good with this? Does anyone have any questions? I can re-explain something if you don't understand.
Can you try and find like a better frame in the video of like the slam being like in the position of his right arm? I couldn't really see that.
Let me go out. He's gonna go. Let me just get this last slam that he had right here. Let me try to find it. Okay. Oh, it's just right there. Perfect. I forgot this bit is super short. So you see this A bomb right here, Zomo?
Yeah.
Look at his right hand. The slam will come out of there. So the slam is
always the right. Okay.
Yeah, it's centered. You see that whole animations that he's doing? You see how he's raising his right hand? So wherever his right hand is, just put it straight. So wherever that
where
right
you
hand
want
is.
the center to be.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, thank you.
So that right hand is key. So it doesn't really matter where the A bomb's facing. It just everything is about that right hand. Okay. Obviously, it's not right up the center. It's more. I would say the direction the slam is facing is where the right hand is. Okay. So like let's say if he was more over here, I'll explain this a little bit more later. But yeah, just the right hand decides where the slam's direction is. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want me to replay the clip so you can see it again, or did you get an eye on it?
That helped. Thank you.
That help? Okay. I think I heard someone else say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand the term Pringle.
Mm-hmm. So Pringling is something I'm gonna go into in a second, right after the next crawling, and then I'll go deep into it, into what it means and everything. Okay.
Alright.
Does anyone have anything else? No? Okay. Next, we're going to be moving to the form of crawling that you're typically going to see in your regular groups. So, this type of crawling is the step right before canceling taints, which is what we call Pringling. So
this is Pringle practice.
So this is basically what you would see an off tank that has already off tanked this fight a bit, and they want to have less movement for the group. Now this off tank, let's say you're getting comfortable with the fight and you want to put the slams closer, you would see something like this. So the off tank would be putting the slams something similar to this, where they're calculating how much they need to go in and just going in enough. I'm gonna show you a little clip of myself doing this type. So you're gonna see this A-bomb spawned right here. This is our first slam, right? This A-bomb spawned right here. This is gonna lat attack me 2 times, and then it's gonna slam. You're gonna see how I'm gonna bring this A-bomb onto the boss. That's law. Every single time your goal. It doesn't matter what type of boss that you're doing, unless your raid lead has asked you to keep them separately, but it doesn't really happen these days in most groups. Your goal, you're bringing that A-bomb in, and you're gonna see how I'm gonna put him basically at the edge of the taint, and I'm gonna turn him inside. You see where that right hand is? I want to make sure that right hand is facing as much into the other taint as possible. And you see how now I have these 2 taints overlapping very closely. You're gonna see I'm gonna go out. This, how many lat attacks is this A-bomb? This is a 1 lat attack A-bomb.
One is far, yep.
Because it's far, right? So I'm gonna get that lat attack, and immediately I'm running back to group to get in the hots. You look at this ritual right here. I need to make sure I'm inside of all of these hots. I'm waiting for that A-bomb. I can just chill in my corner, right? I'm waiting. It's gonna lat attack me 1 time. After it does that 1 lat attack, I know the next lat attack is going to be a slam. So I can just step into taint for just those 2 seconds. This is still a very safe way, and you're gonna see I know the next one is a slam. So you see how after that first lat attack, I just moved into taint a little bit to get it deeper in, and for it to do a slam. This is the more advanced way to do it, right? So immediately after that slam, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna get my next taunts, and I'm gonna go back into my preferred spot and positioning. Again, you really don't want to be too far deep because you have to maintain guard distance. This is very important because if you go too far back or too far forward, this guard person will lose you, and it's not their job to follow you around. It's your job to make sure you're not too separated from group. Okay? A lot of people pin the guard losing on the guard person. It's not their fault unless they're sporadically moving everywhere or they're roll dodging curses backwards. As long as they're a Bahsei's tail, you should not create a distance big enough for it to break. Okay? So, you see how I know this guy was a far lat attacker? Remember? Let me play it back because I stopped in the middle of the explanation. Let me play it back to where I taunted it. So, we go out of taint. This guy, we realize, okay, we split the room in half. This guy's a far. He's going to lat attack me 1 time, and he's going to slam. Very important notes here. That first lat attack, where you eat it, is very important. You don't want to let the A-bomb get close to you and lat attack you right over here. Because what would happen if this A-bomb would lat attack me right here, and I would try to move it in, it's not gonna get another lat attack in. It's just gonna slam right in the middle of the group. You want to make sure you eat that lat attack basically right on top of Bahsei. A lot of off tanks. Let me go back to this. A lot of tanks, as they're learning, they would let this A-bomb get close to them and lat attack them here, and then go into position. That's something you really don't want to do. You want to get your taunts, and then you want to squeal back to your spot, and you don't want to let this A-bomb hit you until it's close to the boss, okay? You're gonna see me here, but I'm basically not allowing it to hit until it's basically right on the boss. This adds also to our calculation of how the slams are gonna happen, right? So I saw this guy lat attack me 1 time. In my mind, I was like, okay, that was a far spawn. This is going to lat attack me 1 time, and then it's going to slam. So I waited for 1 lat attack, and then I ran into the taint, and then it slammed. Okay?
I have a question right here.
Yes.
So are you concerned at all about the scythe coming out while you're running in front of Bahsei right there?
Yes. That's something you always have to keep in your mind. Now, how do we know scythe is coming out? How do we know it's safe? How do we know it's not safe? When do we need to pay attention? So let me wait for this slam to come out. I'm gonna come out right here. We're gonna go out. We're gonna get our taunts, and we're gonna turn around. How do I know it's safe to get back here or not? This is something you have to pay attention to a lot. So the 2 things that you're gonna pay attention to is you should have the Q-Cells Rocker Oath Helper add-on. that tells you the number on top of your main tank if they're cursed, and you should also have this turned on right here where it says next sickle. So I see right here there's a sickle incoming, so I know it's not safe to be in front of Bahsei. So if you see right here, I'm chilling, and then I roll through her, and now I'm in a position where if she sides the main tank, there's no way it can hit me. Now we're gonna wait for another situation because she's probably gonna staff the main tank here. Because this is just how the fight goes, right? We're gonna wait. As we see, the main tank is cursed right now. Immediately, if you see the main tank is cursed from the staff curse, it's safe. So typically, whenever that situation happens, you're just gonna see me. You see here, like I don't even roll. I just walk right through, just because I know if he's cursed from the scythe, then she's not going to scythe. And as well, if you see this timer here, it says 10 seconds, so it's just safe to roll through. Okay. Now, otherwise, if it says incoming, you need to roll through the boss every single time. If the main tank is cursed, then you can sit right on top of him and just chill out. Okay. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about this?
I do about this specific strat. So
okay,
if you're done talking about this strat, then but I can wait if not.
Yeah. This is the strat.
Okay. So a couple of taint mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in two circles, both circles will apply the bleed tick or the taint tick to you, right?
Yes.
Each second. Okay. So how long does it take again for taint to drop off while you're outside of taint?
Okay. I was gonna explain this whenever I got to the Pringling, but I'll explain it here.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, I'll explain it here since we're just
wait. Okay.
We're about to get into Pringling. So every time you go into taint, you're gonna get a stacking debuff on you that stacks up the longer that you're inside of taint. You're gonna see me here. By the way, there's no way to track this outside of this one add-on called Hyper Alerts. I don't think it's available anymore. I'm not really sure, but I can give you guys the file for it. I still have it. I personally don't use it anymore because I've become so accustomed to tracking my own taints inside of my head that I stopped using it. It's not doesn't have a lot of other things, and you can't really move where the tracker is, so it's a little bit uncomfortable. But here you're gonna see that I just stepped into taint, and you see this thing right here where my cursor is, this purple thing that says 4 and 1. This one right here is my taint stacks, and this is the timer on my stacks. So every second that you're in taint, it's going to reapply stacks. The only way to cleanse these stacks is to spend time outside of taint. If you go into taints before your stacks are cleansed, you're gonna stay with the same number of stacks, even if you went out of taint and coming back in. It takes about between 3 to 4 seconds. There's not an exact math to it. This add-on says 4 seconds. It's not exact. We've checked logs. There's different numbers. I don't remember the exact one, but I'm just gonna give you guys a range of between 3 to 4 seconds.
Okay.
Just because there's really no way, there's no ID for this. We've tried millions of ways to track this, and there's just no successful way to track it. So if you guys see here, the key to this is whenever you leave taint, you really don't want to step back into it until your stacks are cleansed. So you saw there, I built up 3 stacks, and it's gonna run out here before I step back into taint. Well, actually, this is the end of the fight. So you see there, it ran out, and my stacks cleansed. Every stack, I believe, with card is about like 2k damage a second while you're in taint. Now, if you're outside of taint with 20 stacks, you're not taking any damage. This damage, these stacks only matter when you're in taint. Okay. So you can't. That's not damage that's gonna like the bleed where it's gonna stay on you outside of taint. As soon as you leave taint, you stop taking that damage. And if you cleanse it, you're free to go back in and rebuild your stacks from 0. Okay.
That's crazy, bro.
And
one more question about taint. So is there a limit on how many you can get up to stacks wise?
There's no limit. It's only however many it takes for you to die.
Okay, and then as long as if you step in before that wipe timer goes away, you maintain that number and you add
Yes.
to it, or is it in
Yes.
sec? Oh,
You
okay.
add
Okay.
you add to that stack number. And it's about 2K. Now, to your question about being in double taint. So there's something we call double taint, triple taint, etc., etc. You see how I have these two slams here, and right in the middle, they both converge. I'm gonna draw them here right in the middle of the arena for you. So this right here is only one slam. This is one slam, but let's say we have them intertwined, which is gonna happen very often with the strategies that we're using, right? This right here in the middle would put you inside of both taint slams, and thus you would build taint stacks twice as quickly, thus making it so you can't. This is a very dangerous spot. You really don't want to be in double taint or triple taint. There's times where triple taint can build up if you're crazy, motherfucker. You're gonna probably see a few clips of me doing it, where if you go in there, just imagine you really, your goal is to be in taint as least as possible. This is why we use the math or the explanation that I talked to you guys about the ladder attacks. There's some tanks that would just sit inside of the slam and just heal their way through everything and they don't worry about the math or the ladder attack of the A bombs. The way that I like to do the fight is I'm not gonna go into taint until I know it's gonna slam. And you guys are gonna see that in all these clips that I'm gonna show you. I'm only going into taint whenever I know a slam is coming really soon. You don't want to go too early or you don't want to go too late. Now, something that's key before I move on. As you're doing these slams, you're gonna see me leave taint as fast as possible. So as I know he's gonna do one ladder attack, right? Let me bring it back just to explain my thinking from the very beginning. So, boom, we finished that A bomb, whatever. We've taunted the next one. The next one is coming in. We've realized this is a force spawn. It's gonna ladder attack me one time and then it's gonna come in. I'm waiting for that ladder attack. As soon as that ladder attack comes out, your alarm system goes out and you're like, I need to go into the taint. It goes out. You go into the taint. You wait for the slam. As soon as I see this animation happening, I'm getting out of taint immediately before it finishes the slams. This is the timing you need to follow. Basically almost mandatory. Because sometimes your next A-bomb will spawn so fast in some groups that if you're not leaving at that timing, you're not going to have time to cleanse your stacks. If you're just 1 second too slow. So you need to make sure whenever you're in taint, you're just spamming your heals and making sure you keep yourself up. As soon as you see that animation, get out of taint immediately. You're gonna see here, this guy is ladder attacking me one time. My stacks just fell off right now, and then he's gonna. And you see, I went into taint a second later. Okay, so you really like getting out of taint is very important. That you're getting out as fast as possible as soon as you see that animation. Okay, that's key if you're trying to play more in taint as the off tank. Okay. Does anyone have any questions before I move in to the canceling taint strategy?
I just want to put something in your mind that maybe you can answer later because it's relating to what you're about to explain. But is it possible to you can't cancel 2 slams with one? Because I'm thinking you said triple taint. You went into triple taint once.
Yes.
Is it possible to cancel more than one circle if you place it properly? And you can explain it. But I was just curious.
Yes, it is. I have a clip of it, but
awesome.
I didn't put it into here, but it is. I didn't feel it was good teaching material because it's a very risky move, but yes, you can if you place it properly. Now,
okay, that's awesome.
I'm gonna get into something that's called pringling. Other people calling like canceling taint slams. So, in the world of the Bahsei arena, these slams that we like and love as off tanks. If let me go ahead and duplicate one for you guys. If you put the slam almost about 90%, how do I say this in English? I would say almost at the exact position, these two slams will cancel each other out. Now, I'm going to show you guys an example of this in a second. But let's say these slams are right here, how I have them. You see how one is just a little bit in and one is a little bit out? This isn't an exact math to it, but the slam, let's say you had this slam first and your second A bomb puts a slam that looks like this next. The slam that was there first will disappear and there will only be one slam in the arena, leaving you that you're not going into double taints. Now, this is the prinkling strategy, and this is where you see a lot of tanks trying to adapt these days because it makes it very easy for the group. I wouldn't recommend starting off trying to do this off of the bat. I recommend learning how to do the tight crawls first as an off tank before you try to get into this, because what I'm going to get into next is going to explain why you need to know both. Your success as an off tank isn't just going to be determined by your Pringles. It's going to be determined by your adaptability to the situations that you have. Okay, so sometimes the fight is going to fuck you and you're not going to be able to Pringle, and the stacks slams are going to get fucked up. You need to be able to adapt between crawling and Pringling. So if your goal is to learn to Pringle, I highly recommend you learn how to do the tight crawl as well. And these two things you're going to mix together, and that's what's going to really make you a really good off tank. It's just being able to adapt to every situation, because you're never going to be able to Pringle 100% of the time every single time. And if you can't Pringle, let's say you miss a slam cancel, you can't just die. Your goal is like, your mentality needs to be like, I fucked up the Pringle. How do I get out of this situation? How can the group not wipe? Remember, your goal as a tank is always, how do you keep yourself alive? How do you continue the fight for the group, even if something happens that is not in your favor, okay? Now, what I'm going to get into is the dangerous way. So, like I explained, if these slams are very similarly placed to another, the first one that was there will disappear, and the new one that you placed will take over and replace it. So in this situation, that slam was there first. This one will entirely disappear. I'm going to show you guys a short clip of this happening. Let me just let this play out a second. I'm going to show you guys a short clip, and then I'll go deeper into the sort of things you need to be doing for having this happen, right? So we just started the fight, right? We're placing the A-bomb right on top of that rune. Okay? Put it right on top of that rune, and we're making sure that right hand, if you look at it, how I explained earlier, this right hand, you see how I'm a little bit off to this side? This is to ensure that that slam is straight. Because if I was like straight facing him, that right hand is not going to be where it needs to be, okay? You want to, the position where the A-bombs come in and slam is very important. I'll get into that a little bit later, but just so you guys have a visual. This guy came out. Next A-bomb comes out. How many ladder attacks is this going to be? Is that someone want to answer? Let's see, we're in class now.
One, I think. Yeah.
One ladder attack, correct? So, we're going to go up. We're going to get that taunt. We're going to come back. Now, you see here, this main tank, this module, it's the position is a little bit off. Preferably, I would want Bahsei to be right here at the center. Bahsei hasn't fully come in yet. It's very likely going to come in. But this A-bomb spawns at the right shoulder of Bahsei, right? My goal to get it stacked, let's say I were to come in through here. Let me let the video play out. If I were to come in through the back, this A-bomb is not going to be stacked good. It's going to be out of damage. Just imagine all of the damage is focused right here where the boss is and right in front of the boss. So your goal as an off tank is to make sure the A-bombs slam there every single time. So I'm going to bring this A-bomb in through the left shoulder, and I'm going to show here. I know that one's going to let attack me one time, and then it's going to slam. So as we're coming in, this timing needs to be basically immaculate. Let me bring it back. This is the timing that you want to get in. So you're going to see here where it says hemorrhaging stack. That's the A-bomb lat attack. Now I have a few add-ons that obviously help me with this. If you don't play with these add-ons, it becomes harder on you to get these tells. But that hemorrhaging stack is the light attack from the A-bomb. That's how I know. Otherwise, you would actually need to look at the A-bomb light attacking you. But since I have access to add-ons, I believe this is crush alerts or combat alerts, something like this. But it basically tells you every time you get light attacked by anything in the game, so it allows me to react faster. And you're gonna see off of that light attack, I'm immediately rolling in. That's my tell to that I need to roll in, and now I know that next CCD of it is going to be a light attack. Okay.
I have a question
Yeah, go
about
ahead.
that specific light attack mechanic too. I can wait though. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You can ask.
Oh, so obviously, like right now, it's not super important because you're just going into like your first slam and stuff. But how important? I mean, you probably never want to take an unblocked light attack, but how? Because I seen you block the light attack and then you moved into taint. How important is that specifically?
It's
Like, does that hemorrhaging really get to going once you have bleeding and you go into taint? Okay.
So if you don't block it, it's going to do about 16, 17k unblocked with guard. This is the, I would say, next to bleeding and taint stacks, this is what kills people a lot, is eating these light attacks unblocked. Okay, that's something that I was gonna get into, but yeah, those light attacks, you really need to make sure you're not eating them. You can eat them, obviously, but they will hit you for 16k. And in a time where you have double bleeds and you're a taint stack and you have like a few taint stacks, if this happens, you're pretty much a goner. Okay.
Okay.
So just going over that, I'm going into taints. He light attacked me one time. I know his next CC is going to be a slam. Now, what do you guys see here? You see my initial slam right here, right? And then you see the secondary slam that this guy placed down. You see it just a little bit inside. You guys see that? Now, what you're gonna see here, you're gonna basically see that first slam is gonna entirely disappear, right? And now we only have this slam. Now, the way these slams cancel, it's very depending on the directions the A-bomb slam. They can basically cancel in all directions if you have them placed correctly. But let's say this, my first A-bomb slammed coming in through here, right? And it was stood here facing this way. You want every single A-bomb after that coming in the same way and slamming the same direction to give you a better chance of it canceling. Because slams have a long side and a short side, okay? The short side is always the side that the A-bomb is slamming or standing at. So this right here, because it's not a perfect circle, right? So this right here, we call this a short side and we call this the long side of the slam, right? You want to make sure that your slams and A-bomb, your A-bombs more importantly, come in through this side. If you're trying to prangle, we don't want A-bombs coming in through the back, through here. We want all of them coming in through this same side, okay? Now, let me go back. We're getting out of taint, right? We have our next A-bomb spawn. How many light attacks is this one, if you guys want to answer? In class.
This is a close, so it would be 2.
Yes. So this guy will light attack me 2 times and then go into taint. So 1 light attack, I'm waiting. 2nd light attack, I'm going into taint. I want to make sure I'm not going too deep. Now, something else to help you. You see here how where that ritual is, I'm just standing outside of it. I'm not really getting help from my healers at this point. This is the most dangerous point where most off tanks will die. So you're gonna see, I'm gonna wait for that guy to get in position, and as soon as he gets in position, I'm gonna inch myself forward and try to get as close to him to get inside of those heals, okay? Because to position them initially, you might need to step out of the heals to make sure he's in the correct spot. And I remember where we placed that first A-bomb on top of the rune, it just focus on your minds. Every other A-bomb will go on top of that rune and face the same direction, and the slam will cancel. You see the other slam that he's putting in right now is basically almost 100% perfect on top of the other one. That immediately is going to be boom. You know that's going to be a cancel, right? Now, we have the next A-bomb spawning. How many light attacks is this one?
3.
Close.
2.
2 lat attacks, right? So we're gonna chill out. 1 lat attack. I'm gonna come in here. I played a little bit scared because I was scared he was gonna get pushed because this is a pretty high damage group. So some of these A bombs, like I said, will slam at 75% and ignore the lat attack logic. So I wanted to make sure that the slam canceled, so I went to Tane a little bit earlier, but he still lat attacked me 2 times. I just saw right there, he just did his second lat attack. Now we know his lat attack right after that is the slam. Not lat attack, the next DCD, right? Next, let me go back. How many lat attacks is this A bomb?
That's
1.
bar.
Yes, that's a 1. So it's 1 lat attack. These are things that you need to immediately recognize. You see that A bomb spawn, you're like, okay, 1 lat attack. Okay, after 1 lat attack, I'm going into Taint. And that's what you need, everything you need to think in your head, right? So you're
that's game changing info.
you look at it, 1 lat attack, okay. 1 lat attack, it just did his lat attack right here. I'm going into Taint. Next CCD, slam, I'm getting out. You see how fast I'm just getting in and out? This is the key, okay? This touches up a lot on these lat attacks. We really abuse this lat attack when we're pregnant, okay? Now, there's a few details that I'm gonna go over now. And it's very important where the A-bombs walk in and out of, okay? So, not A-bombs, but yeah, more you and the A-bombs. So let's say I'm gonna touch in on the shoulder thing that I was going over with you guys earlier. I want you guys to understand that well, just so you know how to bring them in. So left and right shoulder. We're sitting right here. We have this A-bomb spawn right here. In this situation, what are we gonna do? And let me just move Bahsei. You guys already know where Bahsei is on the thing. We don't need to have that. So in this situation, this A-bomb spawned right here. This is gonna lat attack me. Imagine like I'm right here, right? This A-bomb is gonna lat attack me 2 times and then it's going to slam, right? So what do? I'm gonna bring this A-bomb here. Put it right in group, waiting for the lat attacks. Now, which side of Bahsei you bring the A-bomb in is very, very important because it dictates how much cleave it's going to take. As an off tank, you want these guys to get melted as fast as humanly possible, okay? So you're going to take to your advantage where it's easier for the DPS to cleave. You want to make their job as easy as possible, okay? When you're doing yours, okay? So just think in your mind, how is this guy going to die easier? Now, let's say this guy were to come in, I'm chilling right there, and this guy, we just bring it in through the left shoulder of Bahsei. This guy's going to come in, and he's going to slam. Let's say he even Pringles. This guy is coming in. He's going to be standing right here. Nothing bad with that. The preferred method is always to cross shoulder. So if he spawned at the left shoulder of Bahsei, that's one. We want him to bring it in and bring it in through the right shoulder. This is going to make it so they're more stacked in, and this guy's basically going to come in, and he's going to be right here on top of the room. You're going to see this. I'm going to bring back the video that I was showing you guys. You're going to see this live. Let me go back, bring it up. Let me see if I fucked up here and I did it right. So this guy spawned in right shoulder of Bahsei. Preferred, you're going to walk in. Actually, this is a bad clip because Bahsei is in the correct. Okay, this is a perfect clip actually because Bahsei is in the right position. So this guy spawned in left shoulder of Bahsei. That means that we want to bring him in on the right shoulder. Okay? So let it play. I'm waiting. I'm chilling here in group. You see how I'm waiting. I'm getting this guy stacked in, and I'm on the right shoulder, and I'm gonna wait for him to do his 2 lat attacks, and then I'm coming in. I'm bringing it in. Look how close this guy is to the boss. He's basically right on top of her. Look how easy it is for them to kill it. This is obviously with the Azure Blight buff, so he's already 50% health before he even stood up to come hit me again, right? Obviously, it's not this strong this patch because we don't have Azure Blight anymore, but those guys are going to be like 65%. it helps you so much because it's gonna lead to a situation where you don't have to deal with triple bleed. Now, if you come to a situation where you have 3 A bombs on you, it's very risky to step into taint. Okay, these bleeds do a lot of damage. If you have triple bleed, this is where the crawling comes into a little bit. You really don't want to be taking too much taint damage if you have triple bleed. It does a fuck ton. Just imagine, typically from taint, you're gonna be taking upwards of between 10 to 20k damage of taint, right? Bleed is going to be doing 16k. If you take both of those at the same time, on top of light attacks, on top of anything else, you're basically dead. Okay, so it's very important that you're only juggling 2 A bombs at once. This is only your group's fault. Mostly, if your A bombs are dying, it's going to be on you. As long as your group has obviously the necessary builds and the right equipment to handle the fire, which most groups do. They just put on a little cleave set. All right, let me go back to this. Let's bring up another situation. This A bomb spawns right over here. This is spawned at the right shoulder of Bahsei. What do we want to do with this A bomb? If anyone wants to answer, it's gonna come in.
Put him on the left shoulder of Bahsei.
And we're gonna come in, put him right in the middle, and we're gonna come in. So, us as the tank, our preferred position to stand would be right here. Now, typically, Boss is right here. She's facing that way. We can't really sit there. So we have to roll dodge through there. Okay. If Scythe isn't out. Now, if Scythe is out, you can legit sit there with the main tank, and you'll be chilling. You're just sitting at that spot. You're mega chilling. Okay. But this is a situation where you will need to watch Scythe and make sure that you're keeping an eye on it. Bahsei has a very obvious tell when she's going to Scythe, and it just, I look at her animation, so I'll show you right now what her Scythe animation, the start of it looks like, and just something you're going to be able to tell so easily once you see it, but it really takes a lot of practice, okay? Now, this A-bomb, we bring it into the left shoulder. You guys got that. Let's give you guys another situation. This A-bomb.
We have to go in front of Bahsei, make a route in front of Bahsei to get the air bomb from the left shoulder.
On this one?
The previous one, do you have to like go in front of, like, that's why maybe you mentioned watching site. Okay.
Yeah, so like we have this, right? Let me move this up. We have this, right? We have Bahsei here. She's siphoning in that direction, right? You as a tank, to bring this guy from where he is right over there, this guy to come into the left shoulder, he needs to come and stand right here, basically. So you want to be standing here, but you can't really do that if Scythe isn't out, right? So you basically need to, like, you can either greet it, like a lot of the most experienced tanks will do. They will stand there and watch Bahsei like a hawk and be able to tell. This is just something that you're going to realize as you become very experienced in the fight, okay? You're not going to understand this and see it immediately. It comes with experience of knowing her tells and what she's going to Scythe. It's not something I can really teach you. But yeah, your preferred spot to stand would be here. You don't want to bring it in through the right side. If it spawns on the right shoulder, you bring it in always opposite shoulder. Because let's say you were to bring it in here, this A-bomb is coming in and is standing here. Now you're a DPS, you're chilling right here. Everything is just, all of your focus is right here. A DD, to be able to hit this A-bomb that's standing, an A-bomb that you brought in through the right shoulder, would be chilling right around here. A DD would basically need to come here to then do damage and would put them in Scythe range, which is what used to happen before we adapted this strategy of bringing in the A-bombs through the shoulders, okay? So bringing them in through the correct shoulder is very important whenever you start getting into playing, okay?
And that's just for better stacking, correct?
Yes, this is to make sure they die easier and the DPS have an easier time killing them, which makes, in turn, your job easier and making it so you really rarely have to deal with more than 2 A-bombs, okay? Okay. Let me look at my notes. Wait, let me see if I missed anything. Set of taint, set of taints. Okay, perfect. How to cleanse. Okay, I already went over the cleansing and taking the stacks. Falling. Let me see. I don't miss anything before we start getting into the next phases of the fights. Yeah, the arena. We explained all of this. Positioning. Perfect. Okay. So, I'm gonna explain a situation that you're gonna encounter very commonly in these fights, and you and your team are going to pick how you handle the situation. So A bombs can spawn in before she spawns in the cone. Now, this will be probably the most awkward situation that you can deal with as an off tank, and it's very, very common. This is why there's a lot of situations, but this is the one specifically that I really want to explain to you guys because it's very common. So, let's say we spawn in an A bomb, right? She hasn't spawned in the cone yet. You don't know if you need to go to what room you need to go to. You don't know if you need to go to this room or this room. What the fuck do I do? I'm fucked. What you're gonna do is you're gonna taunt this A bomb. Wherever it spawns, doesn't matter. And you want this A bomb, you're gonna take it right on top of Bahsei, and you're gonna put this slam right in the middle. Okay? This is how you're gonna deal with this situation. Now, as a group, typically after she summons the A bomb, she will channel or she will summon the cone. As a group, you can either decide continue the fight and don't break her channel, or you can either break the channel and she's going to immediately spawn in the cone and then giving you time as an off tank to take it to the appropriate side. This really will come down to you and your group. There's not a recommended way of doing this. Now, if you're doing the more pushy strats and you're trying to push faster and kill the boss faster, the way we'll do it, not bash her and keep her in the mechanic lock so your group can get more damage in, okay? But if you're just trying to play safe, I would just recommend getting the bash, and then this first A bomb, you would have plenty of enough time to take it to the correct position, okay? I'm going to show you guys an example of this. So we're getting in right here. Oh, something before I do this. If this situation occurs, and let's say you decide to take the unsafe path, which would be not to bash the boss and let it to continue to channel, you could have the option of starting your taints right here and canceling all of your slams right here in the middle. This is a little bit more advanced and adaptive, so you're gonna see this in this next video where we're starting the fight. We're proccing PA, putting down wall, putting down all our skills, making sure everything is active. We're training in our archers, making sure we don't go behind the healers. She does curse. You're gonna see she's gonna summon an A bomb. Now, something that helps me that I didn't notice until right now that I haven't explained. So you're gonna see whenever she's summoning the A bomb, she's gonna look at the direction where she's summoning the A bomb to. So you're gonna see right here, she's gonna turn around. You see how she turned around and she's like moving her hands towards that direction? I know that the A bomb is gonna be on this side. You're gonna see she's looking at it, and you're gonna see even before the A bomb spawns, I already know that A bomb is gonna spawn either in this one or this one. But she's just looking to her right. She always looks at the rune from where she's summoning the A bomb from. This will help you tremendously in the fight and knowing and calculating things. Okay, it's whatever it tells. So we had this A bomb, we taunted it in. Now we come to a situation where the team, obviously there's something you discuss before you start the fight. Hey, if we have an A bomb spawn before the portal spawn, what do we do? So this situation with the team, we decided not to bash. If you do decide to bash, like I explained, you can just bring this A bomb to whatever side corresponds to it. Okay, this one we decided we didn't bash. What do? You're basically gonna taunt this A bomb and you're gonna bring it in right on top of the main tank. Fuck the main tank. It doesn't really, they're not gonna take damage from this, and it's not gonna fuck anything up with what they need to do. So this slam, your goal with it is to not put it too deep into the corner. You want to put it just deep enough. This is like a distance thing that you'll get used to as you do it more. but you want to put this slam, so it's kind of like similar to the slams that you would if you had placed it. Imagine there was just an imaginary wound right here. So in my head, I just had an imaginary wound right there, and it's right the middle of the distance, okay? It doesn't matter if you put this on top of the main tank, because the direction that Bahsei is looking before she starts her channel is where she's going to spawn that cone, okay? So even if you put it on top of them, they need to roll dodge, it doesn't matter at all. It's not going to fuck anything with them, okay? Now, I'm going to show you guys another slam. You can, like I said, you can choose to just start canceling your tates in this location. This is the most high damage strategy you could do. Whereas we're going to see. I'm going to have you guys talk about it again. So we had that A-bomb over there. How many light attacks is that going to be?
One.
One light attack, right? So, same thing. What shoulder do we bring it in on? Left or right?
Oh, fuck. Where's Bahsei?
Bahsei is right here. I'm going to turn around right now. What shoulder do we need to bring this A-bomb in from? Left or right?
Left.
Left shoulder, correct? So, what are we going to do? We see... Oh, here I fucked up my tracker. I guess my add-ons are fucked up this thing. So, here, I know Scythe is not out because the main tank is not cursed. So, I need to be very careful of what I'm doing, where I'm standing. What am I going to do whenever I cross Bahsei? I'm going to roll dodge. It's very important. If you see Scythe is not out, you need to roll through her. If not, you're going to nuke your main tank. This guy, like we said, he's going to light attack me one time, and then he will slam. There. We just saw the slams cancel, and then we're going to deal with this one, okay? Does anyone have any questions about Franklin so far? I know it's a lot. Feel free to ask anything. No? Okay. Next, I'm gonna show you guys how I personally like to deal with the fire behemoths. And then I'm gonna show you guys a few clips of me just doing the whole fight and my thinking and how I like to do things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, fire behemoths start spawning in at... Fuck, I don't remember the exact percentage. Let's see what it is. The first one comes out at 50, the next one comes out at 40, then at 25, 20, and 10. Okay? Typically, you're going to finish your slams after the slams finish. If you're doing a 1 portal or a 2 portal, you're going to bring Bahsei back here to the middle, and you're going to face this cone this way. Now, you as an off tank, where do you need to be in this situation? Your main tank is right here. He's facing Bahsei away from the group. Just imagine we just have an imaginary group right fucking here. They're all sitting right here. As an off tank, what's your job? Kind of the mentality that I've explained before is, how do I make this as easy as possible for everyone and for myself? Now, imagine healers will have their hots. Let me get a fucking green circle just so you guys are aware. Healers will typically have their hots like this, just covering the end of the main tank and covering most of the group, right? As an off tank, where do we want to stand to get this? Now, the wrong place to stand would be right here, where just you're in group right behind Bahsei. You're putting yourself in a far position because all of these guys they will always come in through here, and they basically insta lock. And so if anyone is in this area here, they're basically getting knocked the fuck out. Okay. So as an off tank, the position that you want to take is you want to put yourself in the closest position to the behemoths. Where is this in this scenario? In this scenario, that would be right here. Now, you can only stand here whenever Scythe is out or Scythe is incoming. So your natural standing position is just going to be right inside of group until this guy comes out. Whenever that fire behemoth comes out, I'm going to remove the circles with the group, please. Okay. Ya voy, dame un segundo, por favor. Alright, we're going to get back to this. So, whenever this guy's coming in, remember, whenever they die. Alright, so whenever this guy's coming in, right? whenever he dies, they do an explosion. Now, this explosion hurts the DDs and basically one-shots them if it's in group. Our job, like I said, how do we make this easier for everyone? We want to make sure that they can kill him and also that the explosion is out of group. So you can't really bring this guy in and keep him here because whenever he dies, he's going to do an explosion on the group, forcing them to roll dodge out of this. This just puts extra danger on the group for no particular reason. What we're going to do is we're going to put ourselves in danger instead of putting the group in danger. So we're going to bring this guy to stand right here on top of the main tank. This is going to make it so the circle will basically be, let me get a red circle for this. The circle will basically be like this. It's going to encompass the main tank. Now it's on your main tank and on you to deal with the situation. I always prefer, whenever I'm playing support, I like to, the mentality that I go into basically every fight in is, how do I make it easy for everyone else to do the job? So again, we're just going to put it on the other tank and we're going to have them deal with the roll dodge along with ourselves. Now, whenever this situation is happening, you have to be very careful, very careful about the scythe timings. This is really where learning all of that scythes and all of this really comes in, okay? So whenever you stack this guy in, just feel free to just stand a little bit behind Bahsei in a way where scythe is not going to. Let me pull up a bit just so you guys kind of see what's happening, right? So my last A-bomb just slammed in. The behemoths are now spawning in, right? Behemoths are spawning in. It's whatever. Boom. We taunting this guy. Boss is still there. Like I explained earlier, whenever all of the A-bombs die, Boss is brought to the middle of the arena. So in this situation, I have two behemoths. You see how I'm putting myself on the outside here? And I just have clear line of sight to the portal whenever they spawn in. This is your preferred position. Even if like you're slamming over there and you bring it to the middle, you always want to put yourself in clear line of sight to this portal. Okay? So I see these guys. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna bring them in right on top. I see the main tank got cursed, so I have 4 seconds to just come in and position these guys. I'm gonna make one of them explode, and I'm just chilling here. I saw that main tank exploded, so I'm like, okay, now we're in dangerous territory. Saf is gonna coming up. Look at the position where I'm putting myself in and where Bahsei is facing. You see where I'm standing right now? She just did a scythe, and the scythe is just not able to hit me at all. Mm-hmm. This is the preferred position. You're kind of sitting like to her sides. So basically, the side of her legs, the scythe leaps forward. And you see what this fire behemoth is. He's in a way where he's about to die right here. You see how that circle does not encompass the DBs at all. They just need to take a small step back and they can still continue to do their damage. Mm-hmm. This is the preferred spot. What am I going to do with the next one? I'm coming in. I'm waiting for the next one to come in. I see the main tech is cursed. I know a Saf is not going to come out because I look right here. We have 8 seconds left. So I know I'm just safe right here. And I'm putting this guy in the position to stand in, okay? And then I'm just doing the same with the next one, okay? And this is obviously, it seems like the easiest part of the fight because it really is. Once you're done dealing with all of the A-bombs, it becomes very easy, but do not underestimate these fire behemoths. They do surprisingly more damage than the A-bombs. So their scalding will absolutely fuck you, okay? Mm-hmm. Do not underestimate these guys because they do a lot of damage. You'll be fine, honestly, as long as you're staying inside of the heals. Okay.
Question.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Were you? Because I know the people you're playing with, but like, were you conscious of like all of these things with like the behemoths while you were doing it, or was it kind of like feeling it out? Wow. Okay.
This is all things you need to be conscious of whenever you're doing these things. It just making everyone like, remember what I said, it's like all of this is just how do I make everyone's life easier. It makes it a lot harder on yourself, but it also alleviates a lot of pressure from everyone else for the healers to heal you better, for the main tank. Like the main tank doesn't need to move. Like this strategy of prinkling is what allows what we have these days with the main tank is doing damage and these things. The only reason we're able to do this is because he's able to stand still and the healers are constantly able to have pots on top of him keeping him alive. So these sort of things wouldn't come into fruition if we, as off tanks, weren't able to do what we're doing today. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then
Yeah, go ahead.
one more question about that specific, and then I have like a theory crafting question for after.
Yeah.
But like in specific, when that behemoth explodes, I seen one explosion, you were able to block it and be okay, and the other one you rolled. Does it matter? Is there a situation where you want to always roll or block, or is it like stamina dependent or your preference? Can you block every behemoth explosion and execute?
It really depends.
As the off tank, my bad.
It really depends on everything else going on in the fight.
Okay. So there are times where you have to roll though.
Yeah, there are times you
Okay.
don't have to. You don't really have much option.
Okay.
So here, like you see, this guy's coming up. He's exploding. This guy isn't. If this guy, like, I'm full health, I'm inside of HOTS. And this guy isn't doing a heavy attack on me, I can just eat it and nothing happens. Now, this guy is doing a heavy attack on me and I'm low health. I'm rolling that every single time. Because this guy, his lat attacks doesn't really do a lot of damage. This is really more of, are you in HOTS or are you outside of HOTS? And is this guy doing a heavy attack or not? I would roll them 90% of the time. The only reason I wouldn't roll them is like you're in a situation where you're just like dumb low on stam. Like I'm here, I have 10k stam and I need to proc bigger again. So I'm like, I can't waste my stam hitting a roll dodge here. If not, I'm gonna put myself in a very bad spot. Luckily I had an orb, which I wasn't aware of right after that. But before I made the decision to not roll it, I'm just gonna eat it. And like
so so without expert evasion, is blocking less stamina than rolling then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, you always want expert evasion, and I'll go into the build that I like to use in a second.
Okay.
But I'm gonna take 1 minute because I really have to fucking piss. I'll be right back.
Can't believe he's being so greedy and taking a break.
Right. Got to do the whole raid 2 hours without leaving.
This is the chance for us to make a cup of coffee.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm back, but we're gonna wait a few minutes because I heard a few people said they were going to take a second, so we'll start back up at like 35. I basically already went over all the mechanics. I'm just gonna show you guys like 3 to 4 pulls of me just doing the whole fight and seeing what shoulder we're coming in, where I'm thinking what skills I'm casting before going into taint, and just the little details just to like finish it off. Okay?
Can I ask a question about the previous phase?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Why is it unsafe to not bash Bahsei and, go on with the channeling and continue to fight on the first slam on Bahsei?
I wouldn't say it's unsafe, but it puts the off tank in a weird situation. Which, how do I explain this? So it's basically gonna put your slam in the middle and it really depends on what the group decides to do after that. Let me go back to a picture. So we're in this situation, right? We put that slam down right there. Now, as the group, you've talked about it. You've decided, hey, if we summon an A-bomb and we don't bash, you're going to have to deal with this A-bomb as a group. So, this A-bomb's going to come right here. She's going to summon Portal. This A-bomb, the group is immediately going to either need to pick 3 situations. Do we step out of cone as a group and basically all move backwards to not get sucked in and then let the portal people come in, right? Or do we oh wait, let me finish that statement. And we stay here on this taint, or are we going to start new slams depending on where the cone is going, depending if it's clockwise or counterclockwise? So let's say you decide to start a new slam. This A-bomb, remember what I said after or earlier about the A-bombs being stunned for a few seconds after they slam?
Sometimes it doesn't die.
This A-bomb,
because it's...
Yes, exactly. So imagine the boss moved over here. This A-bomb is still going to be here for a few extra seconds, and then it'll walk into you. Their second slam comes at the 20-second mark. Now, this is not something, obviously, you're not going to keep that inside of your head.
20 seconds after the fight starts?
After the slam. After the second slam. So the second slam comes out
the same.
20 seconds after, okay? So let's say they were here for 5 seconds, and like then you would obviously do your job and bring them here. This A-bomb has a very high chance, if your group is not really doing really good damage, to hit a double slam. That is really the unsafe thing about it. Now, let's say you decide to stay in middle. This will put, you're going to see, I'm going to show you a clip in a second. It's already 35, so I'm going to get started. All right, so I'm going to show you a little clip of the short, right? Let's replay it. And you're going to kind of see the situation that it puts the group in, and it puts everyone in whenever you decide to do this as a group. So, fight starts. Boom, boom, boom. She's doing her mechanics. She's about to summon the A-bomb. And remember, where she's looking is where she's summoning the A-bomb. She starts the channel. We're like, okay, we're not going to bash this. We're going to plant the A-bombs. And we're just going to keep the slams and the boss right in the middle. This, like I explained earlier, look where the A-bomb is and look where Bahsei is. Optimal positioning. Now, I basically made it so the main tank does not have to move at all. The boss can sit still. Now, for the main tank, what's he going to do? He's just basically going to step a little bit outside. This cone, I don't know if you guys are aware, but this cone is not a cone. It's a rectangle. So, it's basically, the way that it works is that it sucks people in like a rectangle. These corners do not do anything. So, you're going to see me here. I'm just sitting inside of the cone. You're going to think, oh, no, he's going to get sucked in. It's completely safe to stand outside. It's something that, again, takes time. You have to know the edge of the cone. Okay? So she's summoning her next A-bomb, and I'm legit just chilling here. Look where the DDs are forced to go, because what's Boss's next mechanic is going to be a scythe. This scythe is going to be very, very aggressive. Here, we got lucky, and she decided to do a heavy attack. But typically in this situation, a lot of times what you would see is she would throw out a scythe, and the curses are going to come towards the group. Group needs to be looking out tremendously for that scythe. Because a lot of the times, like all of the DDs are basically going to sit right here where I'm sitting, and there's a very good chance that scythe could land into. Okay? All right, before I get in, yeah, go ahead.
So to make it safe, then do you bash before this happens? Like before,
yes.
When you see the when you see the A-bomb spawns, immediately bash.
Yes, if you see an A-bomb spawn before the cone, if you want to make it as safe as possible, I would immediately bash, and then she's gonna spawn the portal, and then your off tank would have to run to one of these routes, which you're gonna see it's gonna happen in a lot of the pulls that I'm gonna show you guys in a second here. It happens very often if you have a higher damage group, that that A-bomb is going to spawn in before the thing spawns in. Okay? Does anyone have any questions before I go into the pools and explain things?
But you don't just, when you see the channeling, you just don't immediately bash. You just still wait for the A-bomb to.
No. So she can't summon A-bombs while she's channeling. She's actually mechanic. So.
Oh, okay.
She can't do
It has
anything.
to start after that.
Yes. So it's either she's gonna summon an A-bomb before she does a channel, or she's gonna do it after. And that's just something.
Alright.
Like your group is just going to decide. Hey, we're gonna do this, or we're gonna do that. That's just something you have to talk to them about. Okay. Does anyone have any questions before I move into just showing you guys pulls of me doing this and going over my thinking? No? Okay. So, I believe it's this one. So, we're going to start the fight. I'm coming in. This is very recent, maybe 3 weeks ago. As you see my bars, typically, this is a similar setup that you're going to be assigned to. Obviously, these days, you can't really have a standard off-tank build like we used to back in the day, because now we have subclass in the game, which basically makes it that every group's requirements of what your build needs to be is going to be different. Typically, you're going to be assigned Bone Tyrant, and that line has stuck to the off tanks for a very long time. It's just added safety for you. Now, I would recommend groups that are trying to have their off-tank Pringle to give them the Bone Tyrant line. It really helps them a lot. So, typically, you have it either you have Bone Tyrant and Soldier of Apocrypha, or you have just Soldier of Apocrypha. It becomes quite a little bit more difficult without the Bone Tyrant, because with Bone Tyrant, one of the passives in it is if you have a Bone Tyrant skill active, you get 10% dot damage mitigation, which most of the damage that you take in this fight is dot damage. Okay, so we just start the fight, casting all of our skills, making sure we proc PA, keep our wall down, keep everything down. In my bars, skills that don't really leave my bar are like you need to have major protection on your front bar, no matter what. Obviously, you need to have your taunts. Here I have Frost Clench as my preferred because I use the Master's Ice Staff. Not for like a big particular reason, it's just what I use. I typically don't like to use, I'm not gonna go into the rant, but I don't like to use Inner Rage as the off tank, because the way that Inner Rage works is that whatever thing you hit with Radiate is what gets hit with that synergy, right? So if I'm taunting the A-bombs with Radiate, that means that we're taking damage off of the boss. And in a lot of the groups that I played with, we want as much damage on the boss as possible. And that's why I've opted for Frost Clench here, which is something you don't really see commonly used these days. Most of the time, we're going to be using Inner Rage. Your responsibilities depends on your subclass, of course. So here I was assigned Bone Tyrant, Sword of Apocrypha, and Witness Embrace. So Witness Embrace, you need to have Frostcloak on your bar. That's why I have that there. You need to have Chains, Elisus, Resolving Vigor. Now, Resolving Vigor isn't only your hot, it's also your minor resolve. And this fight is very important, as whenever I get to my build, that you're at max resistance basically almost permanently. Okay? It became a lot easier with subclassing, but yeah. So Resolving Vigor is very important, and then you want to have your main heal. Now in this sort of build, my main heal is Impervious Rune Board. Not heal, but my big selfish ability. Then, since I had Bone Tyrant assigned to me, I had Scythe. So Scythe, I'm basically just keeping up for the passive and for the heal over time. If you guys don't know how Scythe works, it has an initial heal, and then depending on how many targets you hit, it heals you for 10 seconds after that, and it also keeps your Bone Tyrant passive active to receive less dot damage. Your Pyro skill that you're going to be casting a lot is going to be basically rotating between Vigor and Impervious Room Board, and then just making sure basically everything else, you're just keeping it up, okay? As you saw here, we started the fight, we chained the Archer, we had the first A-bomb spawn in. This, we know is the close A-bomb, it's gonna ladder attack me 2 times, and then it will slam. Here, the group, we decided, hey, we're not gonna bash Bahsei right off the bat, we're gonna let her channel, and then we're gonna just keep the A-bombs right in the middle, and we're just gonna keep slamming right here in the middle. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna slam that A-bomb there. You're gonna see the tank moves. Bahsei's gonna move a step, so I recognize that, and then we saw her. Let me bring it back just a little bit to this. We saw her basically turn around. She summoned that A-bomb in the back. I know now in my head, I'm like, okay, she summoned that A-bomb at the back. I know there's an A-bomb coming in. What am I gonna do? I see I have a couple buffs running off, so here I'm probably just gonna put my things. I'm gonna Ellie sus her. I'm hitting all of my skills, and that A-bomb is gonna take a few seconds to summon in, right? So I'm just making sure everything is already up, which I would need to. I don't want these things to fall off when I'm inside of Taint, and I know in a few seconds coming up, I'm gonna need to go into Taint, so I want to reapply these things before going in. Now, I reapplied everything. I put Elisa's in the boss. I put Wall down. I put Croak. I'm getting my taunts. I'm going in. Remember what we said? This is a 1 light attack A-bomb, then a slam. It spawned at the right shoulder of Bahsei. So what do we want to do? We want to come in through the left shoulder of Bahsei and come in, okay? What do I want to do? The A-bomb spawned in. It's coming in. I'm waiting for that light attack to start. You see here, he started his light attack, and then I'm going into Taint. Whenever I see he gets into position, what am I going to do? I'm going to breed as close as I can into him to make sure I'm inside of pods. Now, these heals are a little bit off, but typically you're not going to have perfect HOTS. They're not going to be too deep into Taint. Nothing really much you can do against this, because sometimes healers get cursed, things happen. So you're going to have to rely on yourself. Most of the time, if you die as an off tank, I would say 99% of the time, it's going to be on your own. So it's your own fault. If you decide to do this sprinkling strat and go into Taint, if you die, you need to make sure you know how to keep yourself alive without anyone's help. And if you die, don't start going in and, oh, you didn't heal me enough on the healer. You are entirely capable of keeping yourself alive through every decision that you make in the fight. Typically, something that you see me cast every time I go into Taint is going to be Resolving Vigor. So Resolving Vigor lasts 5 seconds, and it's just a really strong heal over time. So typically, right before going into Taint, I'm casting Vigor. So you see, I just casted Vigor right before going into Taint, and then I went in and I have that heal. I reapplied Scythe to keep up the bone tire, and inside of here, I'm just spamming Impervious Room Board until I get out. You're gonna see I'm just spamming Impervious Room Board, and then I get out. Okay, that's basically, and you're just gonna keep repeating this over and over. Next, we get out. Next A-bomb's coming in. What is this? Another? How many light attacks is this? 1 or 2?
1.
1 light attack. So, what shoulder did he spawn in? He spawned in left shoulder. Where do we need to bring him in? What shoulder are we bringing him in on?
Right shoulder.
Right shoulder, right? So, this guy came in. What are we going to do? I'm going to sit at the right shoulder of Bahsei. He's going to light attack me 1 time, and then I'm running into Taint. What I'm going to do right before going into Taint, I'm hitting bigger. I'm going into Taint, and I'm making sure everything is up. Here, you saw that A-bomb. I didn't really have a lot of time to reapply many things outside of Taint. You saw I just had 1 second to just get out and get back in. This is why it's very important that whenever you have those extra few seconds, you reapply. Here I had my major resolve fall off, and I have my wall fall off. Okay, so always make sure reapply those things if you can. There's going to be some situations that you just simply can't at all. So he light attacked me 1 time, and I know immediately inside of my head, I'm like, this next one is a slam. And I already saw this next one is spawning here. As soon as I see this slam come out, I see this next one. I'm like, this is the close. This is going to be a 2 light attacker. This means that I can chill outside of Taint for an extra few seconds to get out the buffs that I need to get out. Okay? So we get out. I see this guy. He's going to light attack me 2 times. And then I'm bringing him through the right shoulder of Bahsei. But since he's doing 2 light attacks, I have time. I got off my PA. I got off my Resolve. I hit Impervious. And I went to Taint.
Spoke to, yeah.
right? And this is like on those close spawns, you really have time to get on a few skills. Now, like I said earlier, some groups do rod, and this close spawn could very well light attack you one time and slam. You really need to watch its health bar. If you see, like, I'm legit hawking the health bar, I didn't do it on this one because I just knew this group wasn't gonna get it, but I fucked up the way that I went in there, and you see he slammed a little bit early because he got mega fucking rotted there out of nowhere. There's just something that if you have a core and you have a consistent group of players running, you can kind of guess if they're gonna rot it down or not, depending on where you sorry, depending on where you stack it. So that's just something you need to keep an eye on, and you're just gonna realize with it becomes harder and more annoying depending on obviously doing it with hella different people. Um, but here again, whenever these fire behemoths spawn in, I'm putting myself in easy line of sight towards them. So I'm right behind Bahsei, and I'm bringing them in. This guy, we see here, the main tank is moving to middle. What am I gonna do? I see this here. Here, I made a slight mistake. I should have been at the other side to be able to taunt this guy easier. So I'm gonna have a harder time getting that taunt. Look how close this guy got to group before I was able to taunt him. Whereas if I was already in the other position, I would have been able to taunt him a lot easier. This guy, if I would have been just a tad second too late, he would have smacked someone in group. There goes someone deaf, there goes your PB, etc. etc. Again, when I explained earlier, these guys, you want to make sure you're putting them on the main tank so the DDs do not need to roll dodge. So again, I'm just putting them in front. Like I said earlier, my positioning here is off. I should be at the other side, but hey, we're not all perfect, right? So we're just chilling here, and she dies. Let's go. Does anyone have any questions before I continue showing the pools of any of my thinking?
It's been a while, but
Mhm.
with bleeding ticks and
Yes.
curse ticks, it's all dependent on how high your health your HP is, right?
1 second. Okay. So curse and bleeding are based on health. Yes. So they're
Okay.
both based on health. But in this fight, I love to stack health. Because the more health you have, even you were taking a little bit more damage, you just have more of a health pool. So you're able to survive those big bursts. Because this sort of fight is in one sort of fight where like you're just handling a little bit of damage, you just get bursted in like those situations, especially if you're stepping inside of Saints, you're just getting bursted down. Okay. So I love
So
having a big health pool in this fight, and I love having a big resource pool in this fight as well. So I'm not really using recovery food. I'm using like sugar skulls, where it's just giving me max resources for everything instead of buffing my recoveries. Go ahead, Josh.
well, this is obviously an OT class. So I was just curious, does that also apply to the main tank, or
What
because like the
does?
percentage of damage that you take as an
Yes.
OT that scales off of your health is smaller compared to like I don't know though. You know what I mean? I'm just because
It.
like you said, like you like to stack health
Mm-hmm.
because I'm thinking the reason is because there's only two out of all of the other hard hitting things that you're taking that scale off your health. So I don't. I'm just
Well,
trying to rationalize it, I guess, to myself.
I think the scale is like the big one is like curse doesn't really apply to you. Bleed applies, but like
Okay.
not really.
Okay.
It's really based like most of the damage you're taking is remember you have way more damage coming up from other sources. So like let's say you have 37k health, well having a little small pool is just reduces that damage taken by a few percentages. But just imagine just like I have on this like normally I said like a 50k health. Like I have a
Yeah, because
13k
like
cushion
everything
above.
else would outweigh
Yeah,
the benefit
exactly.
of scaling for that one. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So like I'm just obviously like I like sitting at a decent high stamp too, because as you guys see, we're roll dodging a lot. So I like sitting at a decently high stamp as well. But yeah. I would say like stack based resources. Definitely don't recommend recovery food in this fight. Before I keep showing pulls, does anyone want to ask anything?
Are you ever like the build thing that you got into, or like
Mm-hmm.
it was the theory crafting question, but basically I was wondering, like, is there a formula for, you said you need major protection, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously like your subclass and your responsibilities will determine different things, but like, are there main things that you always want to have, like major
Yeah.
resolve, minor resolve, major protection?
I can touch on that right here before we move on. So
Okay.
this is typically the build that I'm running. One big thing in this build is I love stacking well fitted. I would say your goal is with the
Just stacking
reinforced
what?
well fitted on your body pieces.
Okay.
So with the reinforced that I have on here on this video, the Crypt Cannon, by the way, not reinforced. Nernhorn actually gives you a little bit more armor. I didn't swap it over to this character whenever I took the picture, so that's just what I have on there.
Is that because it's a light armor piece?
Yes, it's a light addition.
Okay, so reinforced is better for large.
Yeah, because reinforced is based on the base armor because it's a percentage increase. This I would just make it well
Okay.
fitted, just because it really doesn't give you any value of it being reinforced. It's increasing it by barely anything. Just your goal is again
Okay. Because it's percentage, gotcha.
yeah, it's percentage. So your goal would be to stack as much well fitted as you can. Only have enough reinforced to reach armor cap. Okay. I love doing that because just we're roll dodging away a lot with basically all forms of crawling, which is we're abusing those roll dodges. In my jewelry, I typically run triple harmony with triple like skill cost reduction. So that reduces stamp cost of the skills and reduces mag and health cost of the skills, okay? That's just my preferred enchants. Obviously on your front bar, I want to charged. This is mostly because of the Witness Embrace subclass that I'm put into. We have this skill here when it's Revenge, which whenever you have a charge staff on your front bar, if you have this skill down, everything gets applied minor brittle at 100% uptime as long as you're on your front staff every 5 seconds, I believe, or however long it takes for brittle reapply, which you typically are. So that's the reason I run a charge staff here, which a lot of times you will be in Witness Embrace. It's very rare that you're not in Witness Embrace here, but sometimes some raids like to swap it around, of course. Backs.
Don't you get like a passive buff for applying brittle 2 now in the Warden line, or isn't it like more resistances or something?
I don't remember. I think like
Okay.
you
Yeah, me
apply like
either.
major main, but I don't remember.
Oh, okay, never
Exactly.
mind. I thought it was like increased resistance.
Yeah. For my CP, this is a CP that I like running. A few that I would say you need, like, very much so. Expedition is really the big one. Free roll dodge every 30 seconds is almost mandatory. I would not take this off. And then on the blue CP, I just have duelist, rebuff, unsaleable, enduring, and focus menting. So this is single target damage taken. Let me see. I believe AoE damage taken with enduring, and then you have dot damage. I don't remember which one is which because I'm bad at recognizing these things. So single target damage actually also includes dots because most dots are single target damage. So if you have a dot heavy fight, you want to take that CP. And then I like to have focus bending, just a little bit increased healing on myself when I'm able to help myself a little bit more, okay? On the red CP, the rest of them matter, but obviously not a lot. I like Boundless Vitality, stack my health a little bit more. Celerity and Rejuve, like these are interchangeable if you want to try like Pain by Suffering, like these sort of things. You can go ahead and add them in. These are entirely interchangeable. Now for your bars, on my front bar, I pretty much always run major protection. Every single time needs to be there. Then, like I explained earlier, you want to have resolving bigger. Then Elisas, wall, and your top. Every other skill that you have, and chains obviously, because you need to chain the dodge, you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 skills to fill out with the rest of your kit and your necessities that you need to apply with your subclass. So in this case, these are the ones that were assigned to me. I would personally always have a big selfish skill and like another skill to help you alongside that. So in this case, that was Scythe and a Perfect Swimboard, and Perfect Swimboard being my main one, and Scythe being activating the passive, like I explained earlier. Okay, but yeah, and like I said earlier, the food that I really like using is Sugar Skulls. It gives you a whole bunch of those resources, and we're able to abuse Harmony. Every time we pick up an orb, we're just able to abuse it and get back up all of those resources that we wasted. Okay,
If you were
Would you
not,
rather
oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
would you rather have Winter's Embrace or Living Death? Do you find it useful?
Living Death is very useful, especially as a beginning. Living Death is what we used to use as a necro back in the day. It gives you the ghost, which the ghost is a straight 10% damage mitigation. So I think it's 10%. I don't know the exact number, but yeah, it's straight 10% damage mitigation added on top of everything else we have. So yeah, it'll keep you alive so much better. Something that
Is it better than this block mitigation from Winter's
yes,
passive, do you think?
yes, way better.
Okay.
Especially like keeping yourself alive. Like if let's say like for you, like you want to stay more alive as an off tank, like I want to say it's better because like it would put one of these skill lines that's on my bar right now into someone else, so like then someone else will be responsible for the winners embrace. But if the group can fit it somewhere else and like you want to take the winners embrace just because you have an extra line around, then you want to help your off tank, because obviously their off tank in Bahsei is the hardest role in the whole trial by far, and you would just want to give them a little extra edge to help the survivability a bit. That Living Death Ghost is like so nice. It really serves you so many things. A skill that I didn't mention here, but I love is contingency. Warden contingency is very strong. Unfortunately, with this build, I couldn't fit it in my bar. But let's say, for example, I didn't have Witness Embrace, right? And I had Living Death. I would put the ghost right here where my Witness Wrench is, and I would put contingency on my back bar. The trick that I used to do before subclassing would be right before going into Taint, I would tap the contingency and roll dodge in. So roll dodging, bashing, and casting another skill actually proc your contingency. So a technique would be to proc your contingency and then go into Taint. In contingency, you can put something called Warriors Defense. I can't remember the exact name, but it gives you an 8% damage mitigation or a 6%. I'm very bad with numbers.
Gladiator's Tenacity.
Yeah, that. It gives you a percent of damage reduction, which is very, very helpful to you. So that's a big one. And then on top of that, like imagine you're stacking Gladiator's Tenacity, you're stacking your ghost, right? And you're stacking major protection, and then on your contingency you also have minor protection. So these are all basically damage mitigation bonuses that you're just putting on top of yourself, letting you live so much easier. So yeah, those things are very, very big. Obviously, if you can fit it. Does anyone have any questions? I think I saw
I did, but I think someone else did as well.
Yeah, go ahead. And Zoma, you can go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Or G.
Maybe some other people are also thinking. What skills do you have under your crypt cannon for passes?
Minor protection.
I was gonna ask that.
So
does that work?
Yes, it does work.
Like if you run temporal, even with crypt, you still get that buff. That's awesome.
Yes. I usually run temporal guard for the minor protection.
It's gonna depend on your skill though. Some of the skills won't do it, like the crit damage buffs from like assassination and stuff like that. But like werewolf, temporal guard, and like the barrier, like support, magic region, all do. So you have to have it before you put on crypt cannon. So you, like if you don't have it on your trash setup before you go in, like do an intermediate setup so that you have like the werewolf buff or whatever on the front bar, and then swap.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then what did you have set up on your chain?
I typically would run chains, and if you want a little bit more safety, you can put the druid one that gives you back resources. Typically, I run Anchorite's Potency just to help out the group a little bit more and give a little bit more ultimate. If you want the safer option, you can run Druid Resurgence, I think, which gives you back a few resources whenever you click chains. The last one, Maim or Major Vitality is what I would want at the last one. Really depends if you want to abuse the Major Vitality. There's a few people that like to hit chains just to give them Major Vitality. I personally kind of strayed away from that because it doesn't make a big difference on which option that you pick. I think either or is fine, Major Vitality or Major Maim.
Okay, thank you.
If you weren't running Powerful Assault, would you still be running Vigor, or
Yes.
would you? Okay, so may I ask, like, why not something like Rune Guard?
Rune Guard of Freedom. Rune Guard is nice, but and like this sort of build, I already have a like instant healing with Impervious, and the Vigor just it's another hop. So to counteract all of the dots coming in, I want more heals over time on me, especially at those times that I'm not on the group. Now, Rune Guard is really strong in a case where let's say you didn't have Bone Tyrant and you didn't have Scythe. Rune Guard of Freedom is a very strong skill because in that sort of build without Bone Tyrant or without Living Death, you're gonna get put in those dangerous situations where Rune Guard actually just boosts your health up to that just that little bit where you can live. It's a nice crutch skill, but it's not something that, like, for example, in this bar, I would replace on Vigor. Like, even if like there was a case where I had to pick between both of them, I'm picking Vigor 100% of the time. Now, this a lot of it is, dude, I'm just gonna look at Mitch. I'm gonna look at one of the logs in the rocker over here. You're gonna see like we're just gonna look at a log real fast of just the healing difference. Oh, this is a bad log.
Don't ever do mine. Mine always brick. No, mine always brick. Go to like Mrs. Logs.
Okay.
Uh,
So we're gonna look here at just the amount of healing that Vigor is doing in comparison.
well, look at the overheal.
Yeah. So you see the difference of how much healing Vigor is doing in comparison. This is like Impervious Reward. Obviously, it's the absorbs just makes it OP. Like that shielding, like not letting the damage coming to you get to your health. So like the technical is like having your hearts healing you up. So like you have your scythe healing you and you have your Vigor healing you, and then you have Impervious Rune Guard. Just the damage that they're doing to you is never getting to your health, so your health is just able to recover. But this Vigor, like if you look at it, it does so much of your healing that it's so nice.
Gotcha. Okay.
And with Rune Guard,
Question
if
with
the
the,
waters go back to it real quick, you'll see that like while it might not be that impactful normally, I'm taking so much damage on the build that I'm at. So like the only one hit I got a Rune Guard of Still Waters is me under 50% health, and then I got 15.7k like tick up from that. So it like bailed me out basically in this log. So that's where like that skill is really good, but it's not something that replaces your other defensive skills. It's something you can put on your bar if you have bar space.
Yeah.
So is that Still Waters and the other version? I don't know what the difference is, but it's the same amount of healing, right?
No. The Still Waters does like double basically.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Does anyone have any questions about the build?
I did have a CP question, two of them. So you're a Nord, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
So if I wasn't, let's say I'm an Imperial, would I have to drop a blue CP for Bulwark probably? Or are you able with like Apocrypha and like I guess Winters you probably would have enough too, right?
I haven't done the math on that, but like there's a few things that like if you don't want to do it, like you can obviously like instead of rejuve here, like you can put fortified. You can do like run like a mighty shoot on one piece on your helmet. And like that that's giving you like 1,000 extra armor. Like
having the 32k that you want?
33 100.
Okay, bet. Appreciate it.
That's the big thing. Like you want to make sure you're at that number. There's no reason you should be under. You're just putting yourself at a bad starting position if you're not there. Okay. Does anyone else?
Both bars, right? Even on your back bar, ideally.
Yeah, you're not really spending a lot. If you're on it and your front bar is fine, like your back bar is just gonna be like a little bit under, not really too much.
Okay.
I have a question that you guys touched on earlier, but I think I'm missing some context, or I just don't know about it in general. The Crypt Cannon investments, somebody said that you're getting some skills off of it when you're using your ult, or can you just explain what you were talking about there?
So, you know, some of the ultimates that you can equip in the game have passives alongside them, right? Like the big one that I'm using in this build is Temporal Guard. You know, just having that skill on gives you minor protection. So,
copy that.
With Crypt Cannon, since you can't really use your ultimate, we're able to put skills before equipping your Crypt Cannon. So basically, like, you know, in Wizards, right? As you cycle through your builds, if the build prior to you having Crypt Cannon equipped has Temporal Guard, you keep the passive from it. Now you can't use the
That's
ultimate,
great.
but you keep the actual passive.
Dude, it's game
He
changing.
keeps a passive.
I had
So
no
let me get
idea.
this- So let me get this straight.
I'm telling Zos.
No.
You
Please
you
no.
have
Please
you
don't.
have minor protection passive
Yes.
on the prior build,
Yes.
and then you switch to the build with Crypt Canyon, keeping the same ultimate, and you keep your
Yes.
minor protection. Holy shit.
Basically, you
Alright.
slot all of your skills and then put on Crypt Cannon and they stay.
Yeah, alright. Copy that.
It's very helpful in
Like
situations.
you can do back bar barrier and get that extra mag recovery Mitch was saying. That's awesome.
If you can't, obviously, if you already have minor contingency, not water contingency, you already get access to the minor protection. So like you can do a barrier instead, and it's really nice to give you that little extra mag recovery. It's a neat little trick, but most of the decent amount of builds you can actually fit in the contingency. Helps a decent amount.
Copy that. Thank you.
No problem. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. All right. Let's move back to the videos. Oops, this one. So I think I have like 4 polls to show you guys, but we're just gonna get started off. Bahsei, remember, we're facing her backwards. Maintain's gonna take her. She's doing her shit. You're just here. You're just applying all of your shit, making sure it's active. Again, here with this group, we discussed we're putting the slam right in the middle. We had this A-bomb spawn in the back. How many does if anyone wants to answer? How many lat attacks is this A-bomb gonna do to me before it slams?
2.
This one is a 1. Because remember, we're
Oh,
splitting.
it looked closer. Okay.
Yeah. So right there, just we're right here, right? And this A-bomb is right here. So this is a far spawn, right? So
I
we're
got
right here, and this one. These two are basically what you would consider far. These two you would consider close. And these are, I don't know if these would be 3 or 2. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah. So spawn far. It's gonna do 1 lat attack and it's gonna slam. So I'm waiting for the scythe to come out. I'm waiting for things. Then I see the Tankus scythe, and here we actually get into a very fucked up situation where you don't really see a lot. We had 2 A-bombs summoned before the cold sponsor.
I've never seen that before.
This is something that you're gonna deal with a lot of the more experienced groups, not too much in the less experienced groups. But I want to show you because it's one of the most fucked up situations that you can encounter. That's gonna happen, and this guy, you're gonna see the clone spawned in, and this guy had not slammed in yet. I know his next cast is a slam, so you're gonna see me here. There's not much you can do about it, but I'm gonna have to break guard here, and I'm gonna try to pull this guy, trying to deeper in. I'm trying not to move him too much because I know his next cast is a slam. So I'm trying not to point him towards group too much, but I'm putting myself in a position where I can get out of this because I know this cone is about to suck me in. So I'm just trying to get out, and I'm just taking open space here, mostly so my guard person can look at me. And I'm just letting that A-bomb walk to me, and I'm making sure I'm outside of this cone here, all right? Now that I'm outside of here, I know this guy spawned right there. He needs to hit me with 2 lat attacks before he slam. So what I'm going to do, 2 lat attacks, I'm making sure I'm applying my things, and then I'm going in. Shot. Right? Now, this guy fucked up a little bit. You see how deep I brought him in? So this is a mistake on my part. I brought him in too deep, and now he's separated from Bahsei. What I have to do in this situation, I'm like, oh shit. If I let him slam this way, like this slam would be too deep and they wouldn't cancel. So I turned him a little bit. You're gonna see I turned him a little bit to the left there, making the slams overlap more. And now this is gonna lead to a canceled slam there. Right? This is a very advanced move, but obviously something you can do. I want to show you guys everything. This guy spawns in here. He spawned in right shoulder. How many lat attacks is he gonna do before he slams?
Close.
Yes. How many lat attacks is that?
So that would be
2.
2 lat attacks.
2. Yeah.
Yes. So he did his first lat attack, but since this again is a very experienced group, he could get pushed to 75% for me. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna go into Taint. What am I doing before going into Taint? Like I said, Vigor. Very important having that up. Whenever I'm inside of Taint, I'm just spamming Impervious Reward, and I'm making sure I have my Scythe passive up. Whenever I'm inside, I'm bringing him in basically the same level. Here, again, I'm not slamming on top of this rune, but I basically have an imaginary rune here in front of me where I'm basically putting him at the same distance from the end of the rune, okay? So that's just something that like I'm thinking of in the middle of this, like the distance. You just get accustomed to how far you need to bring them in to the team for it to cancel. You're gonna see this guy.
And
yes.
The shoulder tech still applies even if you're not on the rune, right? Like
Yes.
if he spawns right shoulder, you want to bring
Yeah. So like he spawned right shoulder. What am I doing here? I'm coming in left shoulder, right? Well, and it's just so much of a better stack. Look how closely stacked he is. See, look how closely stacked he is. Right? Here, we encountered.
Bro, I'm sorry, but these spawns are crazy.
Yeah. So this is not even the worst part. So here we're encountering another really bad situation. Now I remember how we talked about those archers that can spawn in. Here, I just had the archers spawn in now at 50-something%. So I need to take care of them in between my A-bomb times. Some of these times you're not gonna have time. Some of them you are. You see these circles on top of the DPS? These are circles that spawned in on them, and this immediately you know the archers are out. So remember that's your other responsibility is these ads that are thrown in, the behemoths, the A-bombs, and the archers. So you can't just let them be out there and forcing your DPS to roll dodge. And you're basically forcing a skill check on top of them. So we had a close A-bomb here. This one is a 3 lat attacker. But you see how he spawned far away from Bahsei? And he's not getting damaged at all. I tab targeted him to be able to taunt him. And up here, I'm looking at his health. So I'm looking. I know I have the archers out. Here I'm forcing the DDs to roll dodge. I just don't have time to go out and get these chains. Maybe I could have gotten one, but I wasn't risking it. Here I'm just reapplying my resolve and everything. This guy, I'm looking at his health. I'm just fucking hawking his health. You see here, obviously you guys can't see, but here he's pushed under 75. Even though he's a very close spawn, he just did 1 lat attack on me, and he got pushed under 75, so his next thing is going to be immediately a slam. Immediately after that, I'm looking at my Crush Alerts protocol bar, and I see we're past 50%. A behemoth is spawning in, so I'm just putting myself clear line of sight of the portal, right? Now, something that I want you guys to take note of is the direction that I'm going in and out of Taint in. So, if you see, every time I'm going in, I'm always going in through group. Now, as you're starting to fight, sometimes you're going to get scared. And like, let's say this guy just isn't slamming. You miscalculated. Oh, fuck, I fucked up. I don't want you guys to ever roll dodge the way that Bahsei isn't walking. So let's say in this situation, let's say this cone wasn't here. You should never roll dodge this direction. Let's say you miscalculated. Oh shit, I fucked up. This guy's hitting me 3 times. I have a lot of taint stacks. Your first priority in this fight is to live. And whatever the fuck you have to do, just think, how do I live in this situation? You basically never want to roll away from where Bahsei is walking. So this boss is facing this way. So she's gonna walk this way if we need to make a move, which I'm gonna show you some examples of my calls in just a little bit. But let's say this slam here, I miscalculated. I'm always rolling to the main tank every single time and as close to him as possible. You're gonna see here, I'm rolling basically to him because this is where my heals are. As you're leaving taint, remember that's 1 second you're not healing yourself at all. You want to make sure you take as many hots from the healers as possible. It's a little bit difficult to obviously look under you as you're learning this fight, but just always in your mind, expect hots are on the boss. So just always, every time you're going in and out of taint, you always come in through the boss. I like to call this shit the fucking Bermuda Triangle. Where let me fucking bring this motherfucker back. This A-bomb spawns right over here, right? Let me pull out the fucking pen. This A-bomb spawns right over here. I'm coming in through here, bringing them through the left shoulder. I'm coming in, and then I'm coming out. And I'm basically forming... Oh, what the fuck? This shit made a line. I didn't know this fucking technologies. How do I bring this in? I'm fucking dumb. We're gonna leave it like that. So, this guy comes in through here, right? We come in, we come out, and then we're just chilling in group. If you're basically forming a triangle every single time. Let's say this A-bomb were to spawn over here. I'm doing the opposite thing. I'm bringing him in here, coming in through here, I'm leaving. Now, you have to watch out for the scythe, because remember, the boss is looking this way, so you can't just freely be there, okay? You have to watch out for that, okay? So, sometimes you can't really go
If
to
it's
the
the
main
right A-bomb, you bring him in to the left shoulder, so he comes from Bahsei's back. So you're only in Scythe when you come out of Taint or when you go in Taint, if he's the back right spawn.
So this spawn right
So
here?
if he spawns right, so yeah.
So this guy would
How does the
need...
triangle go?
He would come into the left shoulder, right? So you would need to
so
put
you'd have to
yourself,
roll
and then you're
potential.
coming, which again comes... You're watching out for the tails of the scythe. Remember what I explained to you guys earlier? Watching out for those tails in the scythe is very, very important. Okay? And that's just something you just takes time to learn, but you can get used to it the more you do the fight, okay? But this triangle here that we're forming is key. I see some tanks would roll here. What the fuck are you doing here? Your A-bomb is gonna walk here. They're not gonna be in any cleave at all. This guy, by you doing this, you forced upon yourself. This A-bomb will now be a double slammer. So he will slam down twice just because you just decided to take him out of the damage. And in turn, you've taken yourself out of hots. Now your healers are going to freak out because you're dying right over here. And your DDs, what are they going to do? They're not going to turn around and hit your A-bomb. Unless, like, obviously they're really cost for it. But most of them, they're just going to keep hitting the boss. So this A-bomb is just going to be out of stack. If you get yourself in this position, you never want to do this. Let's say you're in a bad position, you need to get the fuck out of taint. Always to the main tank. Always to the main tank. Another thing, you can't come over here. Now, if you're over here, remember, your guard person... Let me fucking get rid of some of this shit. It's getting a fucked up. I can't delete that one because I'm fucking stupid. Your guard person is sitting right behind Bahsei every time. What happens if I'm here and I roll over here? That's too far of a distance for guard, so it's very likely guard is going to break. So you can't really roll dice that way. So what are your options? You have this, basically this much room right here to roll dodge out of. That's the correct angle where you're coming out of. You can't really come out of other angles because anything else you're just outside of the hots. Remember how I explained earlier where the hots are placed? The hots are basically placed like this. So just think of it like, fuck Bahsei out of there. You can't, you want to come out into these hots. Okay? That's really, really important. Let's continue. So this guy, we already said he's a close light attacker. We have the archers out. So I know in my mind, I have to deal with these archers sometime soon. So we're going to continue. He's got 1 light attacks. I was scared of him. I was scared of I'm getting pushed too fast, but the group decided to, well, not decided, but they ended up not doing enough damage to him, so he didn't get pushed. So he did the 2 light attacks, and he's doing everything. Then we had this close spawn, and here I'm just chilling. I'm reapplying everything, making sure I resolve. These, like I explained earlier, these you need to be very careful. These are the hardest A-bombs that you're going to have to deal with every single time. Every pull. The close spawns, the very close ones right here are the most dangerous because you don't know if they're going to be a 3 light attacker or an insta slammer. So you have to keep an eye out on their health at all times. He has to be faced away from group on his after his 3rd light attack or before he reaches 75. Okay? So just really keep an eye out on yourself. That was very important. Remember, after we finish the slams, we're coming out into group. Attacks exploding. I'm just moving out of that. I'm standing inside of the hots. I'm chilling here. Then, no behemoths are spawning in. I see the archers. I'm coming out. I'm chaining in the archers. I know the behemoths are spawning in. And I'm like, okay, now that this one spawned in, I have time to chain in archers. I chain them in. We don't have to deal with the archers anymore. I see the tank is exploding. You see how I was going to take up, and typically I tell you guys to put the fire behemoths here. I was going to take up that space. I didn't take up that space because he was going to explode. So here I'm waiting for him to explode. And then I'm going to take up that space and I'm going to move that fire behemoth right on top of his ass. And I'm going to put myself in clear line of sight of this portal to have an easy taunt. Okay? Then here I'm just chilling. You see I'm just right. Obviously, like, this is just me knowing the fight very well. So I know the edge of the scythe. So I'm just chilling here. I know that scythe is not going to reach me. Then this fire behemoth, if you see that explosion, the DDs never need to roll this. Okay? You're making it easier for the DDs. You're making it easier for everyone by just having these guys. Now, the main tank will have to roll, but that's just part of their fight. They're going to have to learn to play against it. Or not against it, around that. Remember again? We're just keeping ourselves alive, staying in the hots. Remember I said these guys might not seem dangerous, but they do more damage than the A-bombs. They fuck you. That scalding destroys you. Then again, we're in clear line of sight. We're just keeping up all of our skills here. Just focus keeping up PA. Ellie does everything. But yeah, then we're going to go to the next
one. One last question on that fight. So the very close A-bombs, you said, okay, so their insta slam threshold is 75%, correct?
Yes, that goes for all
like
of
at 75, they have the potential. So now, do they have a mechanic prio kind of like Bahsei, where like when she starts the animation of a mechanic, she will not break that and do like will they stop something and slam if they hit 75? You know what I mean? Like, is there what's that window?
So if they already started something on you, they're gonna finish that. But right after that, they're gonna slam. This kind of works like you like that. They have like GCDs themselves, so like they can't just like triple cast some shit on you. Like things like that have global cooldowns as well. They have to respect.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. No one has anything else. We're gonna continue. So let me see what situation we get ourselves in. We're pulling the boss. Typical. We're facing her that way. Getting our things off. Archer spawned in on this one, so we got lucky in this one. This is perfect situation right here. We love to see these archers spawn in before the cone. It's very fucking annoying if they spawn in after. So I'm gonna get those taunts. This guy spawns in, and she does a channel again. Okay. We're gonna put this guy right in the middle. We're just chilling, getting my things up, getting as close up to him as possible to not break this guard. Now, we're put in a dangerous situation. We know Scythe is very likely going to come up, so I'm putting myself in a situation where the Scythe isn't hitting me. As soon as the Scythe is out, I'm coming back in. I see the guy's a far spawn. I'm chilling. I'm looking at him. I'm taunting. I'm Ellie sussing. I'm putting my things. Remember, far spawn at the right shoulder. We're bringing it in through the left shoulder. One lat attack because it was a far spawn. We're bringing it in. He's coming in. As soon as he gets into position, we're greeting up close to him to be inside of those hots from the healers. Then we're coming out into the hots again. We're getting the next taunt. As we're getting this one, this guy just finished his slam, so he's not moving at all. This guy spawned. Basically, he didn't spawn in either shoulder, so this one's fine. I'm just going to bring him in through the left. I just felt like there's a better stacking point. Here, you're going to see something, and this is why we like to have Bahsei at the top. You see here, our A-bombs are coming in, and they're slamming sideways. It's not a very comfortable position for the DPS to keep them. And I'm making it harder on them, bringing my A-bombs in this way. This is something I used to do when I was learning the fight a lot, and sometimes it still happens. But on these shorts, you're kind of forced to in a way because you need to bring them in through Bahsei. So if Bahsei is here, this is why the main tank position affects us as off tank so much, and affects the group as well. So this Bahsei just being a little bit forward is forcing my A-bombs. It's basically forcing me to bring my A-bombs in through here. Because I don't want to bring my A-bombs in through here, because if not, they'll be outside of cleave range from the boss. So I'm bringing him to the side, which is not optimal, but it's what the situation has led me to put it there. This one was close spawn, so I know he's going to do 2 light attacks, but again, I normally play with very high damage groups, so I'm scared he's going to get push 75, which he in fact did get to push 75, and he immediately slammed after his first light attack. Just things you're going to have to deal with. Luckily in that one, it still canceled, but it didn't really matter. It was the last one. We don't really care if the last one cancels or not. Then again, the behemoths are spawning in. Main tank is exploding. I'm chilling inside of the hots while dealing with this hard behemoth. Again here, you're going to see I decided to make the smart play here. I'm not going behind the boss. I'm getting clear line of sight of this portal to be able to get these taunts. I know Scythe is coming up here. So you're going to see me here. I'm playing my distance to Bahsei. You see, I'm not getting in front of her. I know Scythe is coming up here. So I'm playing my distance. As soon as I see the Scythe come out, I'm putting the fire behemoths where they need to be. And then they're exploding. This one was a little bit close. I forced my DDs to be a little bit more backwards. Do this. Right? So it's not optimal, but it'd be like that sometimes. Then again, putting yourself in optimal line of sight to that portal whenever that behemoth phase is over, okay? Now we're gonna
Question
get
about that last fight you just finished.
go ahead.
The second A bomb of that sequence, you had some extra time. But I noticed, because like I'm a damage dealer by nature, so like I always want to be doing something every second. And I noticed that like you were doing things, but you were like chilling and being patient until the A bomb came into taunt range. You didn't leave your heals and stuff like that. When you have those small windows and there's no archers up, are you just kind of like everything's up, you just kind of do PA and just wait, or like is
Yeah,
there something more beneficial that you can be doing?
you'll always be doing something. So that was a misplay on my part. Like in this game, like same for DPS, tank healer.
I don't think you didn't do, but you like stood. Your
Yeah.
positioning was smart.
Yeah, like I didn't. The thing is, like, you always want to be casting something. So at that time, like, I could have recasted my wall so it would have lasted longer when I was inside of saying, like, there's always something you can do.
Oh, yeah,
Like, take
giving you more
advantage.
time. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that was a slight misplay on my part, not taking advantage of those few seconds, which everyone's gonna have, but you always want to take advantage of those every single time. Since he
Okay.
spawned far, I might have just been a little bit scared there, and I just wanted to ensure that I got the taunt. Maybe like a few pulls after that, I let a healer get smacked, so I'm just like on top of my eyes. Like, there's things that happen that always affect. Like, even if I'm thinking all of these things, it's
Okay.
always things that can cloud your judgment, right? So like, let's say I let a healer die, especially, like, I'm more cautious of like, oh shit, I need to keep an eye on these A bombs so I don't do other things, which in turn, like, yes, I'm not making mistakes, but like, I could be doing better, which everyone has.
Right, areas to improve. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so here we're gonna start getting into some coding examples. So again, here we're summoning the A bomb. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see what she does. She scythe the main tank. Here she's summoning another A bomb. Okay, she hasn't summoned portal yet. The main tank is exploding. The curse is going towards me. I need to move away. It makes my A bomb slam in a weird area. What the fuck can you do, right? Shit happens. You have to dodge the fucking curse. The slam was there. What the fuck are we gonna do? Well, the main tank made a fucking god play and decided to keep Bahsei there. In my mind, I'm like, fuck it. We're just gonna Pringle right there. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna try to Pringle here, right? Now, what was my mistake here? You guys are not gonna realize. So let me bring it back for you and show you by mistake why this A-bomb didn't come in. Remember what I talked about earlier about taking the light attacks too close to the middle? Watch where I take this light attack. You see, I'm basically, you see how far he is from the tank where I took that light attack? Remember, that's a far spawn, so it's a one light attacker, and then it's next to decent slam. I let him be too far away from the taint to light attack me. So I should have been closer to the taint in this situation. So I fucked up. Shit's gonna happen. Everyone's gonna fuck up. Now, how you're gonna react to this situation is key. So you're gonna see I fucked up. I let him light attack me too far away from the taint, and I rolled in. Boom, he's gonna slam. Fuck. We're in a cross situation. This is where adaptability comes in. Every off tank is gonna make mistakes because this shit is hard as fuck to do. How do you recover from this? So we incorporate the tech crawl that I explained to you guys. You spawn left shoulder, close spawn, 2 light attacks, and then he's slamming, right? So I'm bringing him in. I'm coming to right shoulder. You see here, I see the main tank is cursed. I'm like, okay, I can chill on the main tank. He's about to explode, so I'm just gonna go into the taint, and I'm just gonna chill here. What did I do? I brought him in right shoulder, and then what did I do? I angled him more towards the slams that already priorly existed. Then I'm getting up. Here, boom, my healer dies. I'm like, oh fuck. Like this shit is fucked. One of my healers down. Whenever your healer dies, you really need to either not step into taint for too long or just don't step into the taint at all. The difference is very noticeable if you lose a healer. So this is just, we see this guy. Where does this guy fucking spawn? I gotta look. Close spawn. 2 light attacks. I only have 1 healer. Double bleed. I hit 1 light attack. Another light attack. I know on the next one he's doing a slam. So what am I gonna do? I'm pointing him towards the other slams. Always point him towards the other slams. Now, I don't think some of these didn't cancel out, but you see how tight it is. I just pointing it. There wasn't even a Pringle, but you see that we barely moved at all. And this is just utilizing. You're able to change from Pringling to crawling whenever necessary, because no one's gonna be able to Pringle 100% of the time. It's gonna be heavily depending on you being able to adapt between both situations. Okay. Let me go back. It's another very bad situation. Okay. We had archers spawn in while the fight is happening. It's dangerous again. So I noticed I had a second there. I chained in 1. I looked around and I saw where the other one was, but I have fire behemoths to deal with. I see that other archer back over there, but here my main tank dots out, so I'm like, fuck. We need to taunt the boss. And here you see like my visuals on the archer, because that's just what I had in my brain. I'm like, I need to get the archer. But here your main tank dies. Like, you need to fucking focus on yourself. You're living, you're calling out your explosions, you res the main tank, and then I'm just back on my job. I got cursed. You're so tanky as an off tank that you're chilling. You're not chilling, but like if you have all of your hots up, like you see how much damage I'm taking here, I'm not dying. But look where I'm standing with this curse. A lot of off tanks here, they're like, oh, let me get a little bit further away. I'm cursed. I'm staying inside of the hots. I'm washing the floor. I'm looking under me. Where are the hots under me? You're not gonna be able to. These are things that you're not gonna be able to realize on the spot, but just with experience, like you're gonna feel a lot free and like be able to see things more clearly. So there, I'm like, okay, I'm exploding now. I'm gonna step away from the group. Okay, curse exploded, and I still know I need to get that fucking archer. He's been there. He's been killing the fucking group. So you see how I'm just like fucking looking at the fireman because I know another one's gonna spawn, but I'm like, fuck it. I see one spawn, and then I'm gonna run and I'm gonna chain that fucking archer in.
He's trying to squeeze that chain in.
You see, like in my mind, like I know how to deal, but like I have other things to deal with. The archer doesn't take priority, but you need to get it handled at some point, okay? Then we finish off the fight. Boom, boom. But like you see my visual, like I'm always looking at it. Okay. Now let's do another pull. Oh, what the fuck did I pause it? Alright, we got another one. Archer spawned in before. Fucking bless. This is what I love right here. I love when archers just fucking spawn in. Curse, whatever. Boom. So, and this one, we couldn't slam in the middle. Perfect. This is safest. This is not where you're gonna get the most damage out of, but this is the safest situation that could happen. Archer spawned in, and you had cone before your A-bomb could slam. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead, position my first slam. I put my first slam in. I'm chilling. I'm coming out. Again, I had a force spawn. What I'm going to do, I'm taunting it. Again, that one spawned right shoulder of Bahsei. If someone wants to answer, what shoulder do I need to bring it in from?
If it spawned right, yep, left.
Left, right? It was a force spawn. How many lat attacks did force spawn have? One. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to basically hug the fucking taint. I'm gonna wait for that light attack. I see him start the light attack animation. I'm going into taint. Oh fuck! They collided. What the fuck can they do, right? I did everything right, but they fucking collided. Shit happens. You need to get out, get your next taunt, close spawn. Okay, 2 lat attacks spawn at the left shoulder. I need to bring it in at the right shoulder. Do I have room? Can I bring it on the right shoulder? No. I have double taint here. What the fuck can I do? So I'm basically gonna hug the taint as much as I can, and I'm gonna step into taint as close to this taint as I can to be able to bring it in, to stack in as much as possible. Then you're gonna see me try to aim his fucking hand as much into this taint as possible so I don't take up room. Then I'm leaving. Look at my health is right there. And like I said, leaving taint, that's when you take the most damage. So that direction that you're leaving taint is super important. If I would have roll dodge any other direction that's not here, dead. I'm fucking dead. That's why it's very important that you just roll back into those spots. We get out, boom. Now, close spawn, I have time. I can breathe. Fuck, finally. I'm putting my shit down. I'm putting my wall down. I'm hitting my vigor. I'm going back into taint. Again, same logic. Spawn to right shoulder, bringing it into the left. I'm coming into the left every single fucking time. Coming in, facing that slam, so it doesn't take up the group space, and it just right on top of Bahsei. Look at that A-bomb and look at Bahsei. You see how fast he was just getting rotted? And this is without Aisha play. This is like already subclassing. Look, by the time he's done slamming, he's basically at 40% health. Now, I'm chilling. Scythe isn't out, so what the fuck can I do? I'm chilling here. I'm stacking this guy on Bahsei, but as she's summoning in the meteor, when she's summoning in the meteor, she can't do any mechanics. She's summoning in the meteor, so what the fuck am I gonna do? I'm taking that second and putting the fire behemoth in front of me. Now she started channeling, so I'm like, okay, I have an extra 3 seconds that I can just keep this guy away from group. Look how close the Bahsei is to the slams. Let's say I were to put this guy on group, they can't move back. They can only move over here. They can move over here too, but that's just a really bad position. DDs don't really want to be there. They always want to be at the back. That's just how they think, their instincts. It's just be behind the boss. You're putting them in the bad spot. So here I see they don't have a lot of room. So I'm purposely, even though they're a little bit out of cleave, I'm purposely keeping them farther away to ensure that whenever they do explode, they're just not impacting the DDs at all. There, I'm keeping myself line of sight. Here, I should have been on this side, but I just didn't go over there. I fucked up. Shit happens. And then I'm just keeping it here. I know this one isn't going to die because I'm looking at the health. And then I'm just here greeting because I know my stamina is low and I'm just trying to greed as much in group as possible. And that's it. I don't have any more clips. But that was basically everything. Does anyone have any questions at all?
Not a question, but a comment. I did not know how important getting good at the tight crawl is to being a consistent Pringling OT. Because like you said, shit happens, they collide and shit. So like everybody, like I always was like, I'm gonna Pringle or die. Like it's actually really, like you said, good to have that in your toolbox to be able to adapt and maximize time on target based on what you're dealing with. So yeah, I appreciate the workshop though, and this is fire.
Thank you.
This was really, really helpful. Thank you very much for the time.
I was going to ask, since no one else did, I know everyone's asking, thinking about it. When should we start blaming other people for our own shortcomings?
You
Always.
you basically always blame the healers and blame the main tank for being better. So
Okay.
basically,
I am blaming the damage dealers for not killing it quicker. No.
In this fight, every decision you make will lead to either you living or you die. So if you know, this happens even to me, if you know you're in a bad position and you still decide to go into taint and the healers did not heal you, you have to think who put themselves in the bad position to start off. It was you. You decided to go into taint where you had triple bleed. The healers didn't heal you. That's not the fault you died. Your fault. Your mistake was going into taint when you're in a bad position. Let's say you go outside of taint, you didn't cleanse your taint stacks. You go back into taint. Fuck, I got 20 taint stacks. The healers didn't heal you. What the fuck can you do? You went into taint with 20 taint stacks and you didn't cleanse your taint stacks. You're dead. If you die there, that's entirely your fault for going back into taint. A lot of your deaths after you get the lat attacks and all of this down is going to be to you greedy and one. Oh, I'm going back. So just remember, like, key to being good tank, staying alive. If you're alive, the pull continues. If you die, everyone is how I fucking say, run to the fucking lava. it's a wipe. If the off tank is dead, the pull is over. So you just have to think like your life is the most important thing in this whole fight. You're basically the fucking prize possession. You can't fucking die. It's like you're playing I don't know what fucking game, but like if you're playing fucking like Protect the President or some shit, you're the fucking president. Everyone's trying to fucking kill you. You can't fucking die because if you die, the game's the fucking over. So just treat your life with fucking care and just if you see you're in a bad position, like I showed you guys, there's methods to crawling that you don't need to be inside of tank for, and they work just as well. There's many people like being able to abuse 3 styles of slams control that I showed you guys together in every situation. And just that's what puts you at the highest level of offense. It's just putting all of that shit together. It's not learning one and just like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking Pringle. If I like fucking G said, if I miss the Pringle, fuck it, I'm going for that shit. If I die, I die. Or like other people is like, oh, I'm just not gonna go inside a Taint at all. I'm just gonna play safe. Totally fine. Now, if you say, oh, I wanna help the group a little bit more, I'm gonna put myself in a little bit more danger to make everyone else's life easier. Hey, fuck it. Playing a little bit of a riskier game, but it helps everyone else. So it just conscious decision you need to come to, and like you obviously all of these things you're gonna talk with the group, right? Hey guys, like, would you prefer me to play outside of Taint and be safe and more consistent, right? And we clear the fight, but it's a little bit more difficult than everyone else, or can I play riskier and we finish the fight faster and we just get out of here faster and it's easier on everyone else? That all of that just depends on whatever you and the group decide.
Hey, while there's a break in speaking, I just want to say thanks for the time and going over all of this, and yeah, do this again for other fights.
Yeah, I really appreciate all of you guys for coming through. Honestly, this is my first one, so and this is my favorite one in the whole game, so I can do it in depth. I think it's the most fun thing to do in the game, and it's so in depth. There's so many little details, but a lot of the base things that I said here obviously can be used in other fights. I do plan on doing other fights, mostly just tanking because obviously it's my main role. I'll probably put like a boat on like what other fights people want to see from the tanking POV, and I've heard like some people DM me that they wanna just because they saw this like they want to start doing like their POVs of their preferred roles, which has been dope. And I think this is very helpful. It touches in deeper on just like instead of like doing a whole trainer, it helps because I know there's not a lot of places off tanks can get practice and learn these things just because it's such a hard spot to fill and everyone wants to do it, and a lot of groups don't want to take in inexperienced off tanks to like learn all of these things. So I'm like, fuck it, if I'm gonna do the first one, it's always gonna be Bahsei off tanking, just because I know there's not a lot of info out there and people are shy to ask. But I mean, again, if you guys have any questions, like even after the day, just like DM me and just ask me anything. I answer so many DMs about things. Like I'm always fucking available to that. But yeah, really appreciate you guys coming up.
Yeah, thanks for the time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
take care. My voice is so tired.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Are you going to be posting your recording of this on